Stage 1 should only be best of ones. None of these teams deserve to play best of threes. Earn the right in stage 1 to get to stage 2 and stage 3, where we should make only best of threes in stage 2 and stage 3. Because the Counter-Strike that these teams were playing in stage 1 was really bad.
Ever wanted to try Refrag? Well, now you can. For the viewers of HLTV Confirmed, you can claim a 1-week free trial for the world's best CS2 training platform, letting you try out all of our features, like the Refrag Coach, which will analyze your games and give you a personalized training plan. You can also try out Challenger, an all-new game mode, which will test your retake abilities in realistic in-game scenarios. Try Refrag today for free using the link in the description.
You're a CS player and you won a major. It's not something people can take away from you, you know?
No matter what would have happened in that tournament, I'm glad I got benched.
It's just hard, you know, like when I look back at this image, all I see is that I failed.
When Device decided to quit the team, that was like the nail in the coffin.
Okay, this is where I want to be, this is where my place should be.
You know, if I could trade in all the trophies to just have my father back, that would be a fair trade.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Counter-Strike fans across the globe, welcome back to another installment of HLTV Confirmed, streamed live and direct to you exclusively on Kick. We are sponsored by Stake and Refrag. Thank you very much for making this show possible. Good morning, gentlemen. I feel like we're doing a brief now to the council. We're going to try and solve some geopolitics and, you know, try and stop a couple wars. Maybe we'll see if we can fix the next pandemic. First, a piece of housekeeping this morning. The Flamesy episode, Striker, could you give a couple of brief cliff notes? I missed it. I wasn't there.
It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to give cliff notes to that episode, to be honest, because it's just like fun chatting the entire way through. And it's like you don't really talk about anything, but you talk about everything. So it's just kind of like watch that first hour, and I think you're going to have fun.
Okay. All right. So a fun episode. Yeah, that's the thing. Flames is a very good conversationalist, right? That's what makes it a good podcast indeed. Okay. Next bit of housekeeping I've got written down here in my baby notebook. Prof, saw some tweets coming your way yesterday. I also asked you the question just the other day. Live show situation for the Starlight at Budapest Major. Anything you'd like to say on the record?
On the record, we didn't do anything. Let's just say it was hard to know what was actually going on where. I mean, obviously we know where the group stage is and stuff like that, but generally when you're doing the show, you kind of want to do it somewhere close to where players are, but that was very hard to find out for some reason this time around. Usually it's pretty easy. It's like, what's a player hotel? You ask like 2 people, you'll figure it out. So that took time, and then finding a venue wasn't really easy. Finding anything, so we were just like, let's just not do it this time and just vibe. There's a lot of stuff in general to do, and it wasn't our priority right now. Honestly, also the Cologne show kind of pissed me off.
Okay,
kind of annoyed me and like killed at least 30% motivation. So I'm like, I'll just, when the timing is right, it will come to us. You know.
Okay,
that's how I felt.
Okay, so we got a couple of insights there. That's interesting. All right, people can take notes now. Finally, I've got my name here in the housekeeping notes as well. I saw some questions. Miami Disco took to the threads last night. Striker, I saw you replying regarding today's episode. So a lot of that, everybody, is to do with me. I am here working the event, and it's difficult to find a time where the 3 of us could be in one position to actually do a podcast. So today, if we had tried to schedule it post matches, we couldn't have a hard time because it's a rolling schedule and some games could go long, some games could go short, so we wouldn't be able to pencil in a time, or it could be, after midnight if there are some issues. We couldn't do one tomorrow because up until about 12 hours ago, I didn't have a media day schedule for tomorrow. So I didn't know when my obligations would be on the off day. So I couldn't tell Prof or Strike or anybody, hey, let's do this time, which also makes it hard to schedule. And yeah, we had to do it this morning because I'm doing the first game of Fluxo versus FaZe, and my call time will be at 12:30, and we usually go for about 2 hours. So I need to finish this, pack everything up, get ready. Well, I'm ready, and then walk out the door and get on the shuttle and go to the venue. So that's the reason it's early. I want everybody to look at this like it's a extended pre-show for the 4th day of the Starlight Budapest Major. That's a good way to look at it, right?
Yeah.
So because we're going to be going over quite a bit bits and bobs. We're going to do some recent news, right? There's obviously the Glaive retirement and some other things that we'll go over. Then we're going to be mainly focused about the major so far. We'll take a broader look, right? Because there was a lot of dramas on day one, and then in terms of things people like talking about the hard, or we've got this thing that's being dubbed the what is it? The humiliation ritual. We'll get to that. There's lots of fun things to come today, as well as all the traditional sponsor bits. We'll have Skinionaire coming. We're going to go over some Refrag stuff, and yeah, we'll close out the show. So let's get things underway, shall we? We'll jump straight into the recent news. Now, Glaive announcing his retirement. For those unfamiliar, I'm surprised you're watching a podcast like HLTV Confirmed, but welcome. Glaive, for some, could be considered the best in-game leader of all time. Definitely would be most accomplished in terms of having 4 major titles as an in-game leader and being part of what is considered by most, if not all, the greatest Counter-Strike team of all time. The first to win the Intel Grand Slam, and defining an era of Counter-Strike that is still essentially the bones of what is played in the modern game. So Glaive's retirement, I'm not sure if it came as a shock, right, in the sense of the way that the last couple of teams that he was a part of was, but it's still one of these moments in Counter-Strike where it feels like, for me, just yesterday we were in the Astralis era. So to have another member of that great team hang up the mouse, it's one of a time to reflect and kind of look at what the impact of a great leader like Glaive was over the years. So it's weird with this because it is just a glazing session, right? That's all this is. This guy was fucking great, right? Glaive glaze, yeah. Glaive glaze, Glaive. It's yeah. I was thinking
Works
about donuts.
either ways, I guess.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess we just open up the floor right now. It's kind of like the opposite of a funeral. Like people go up and say something. Well, right now we're kind of doing the same, and he's not in the room, so he might not ever watch this. But Prof, what nice things do you have to say about Glaive?
Honestly, I think just what he was as an IGL, like the individual level that he brought, that was something that we didn't have much of, at least in like tactical teams, right? At that time. Nowadays, still, like you don't really expect the IGL to be like the star of the team, but before, even more so, I think it was a commonplace. Just like, he's just the bottom fragger calling some stuff. I think Glaive kind of changed that, shaped that in a way where he was just an active CT player and could actually find impact. I mean, Janko put it out in the tweet, like the smoke kills were insane. Inferno CT rotation, coming into B and just killing 2 guys on the execute. That's just like in my head instantly when I think of Astralis Glaive, So a great player and kind of obviously shaped from the Astralis side, CS, but I also think like from his individual way of playing on a team as an IGL.
Now we'll hand the baton over to you, Striker, for your turn.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the few IGLs to latch on to what Prof was talking about. One of the few IGLs to make it to the top 20, and I think he was something like 8 in 2018, which is kind of crazy to think of when they all made it in 1 year, right? I mean, that was obviously one of the biggest achievements an in-game leader could have in terms of an individual, award. Otherwise, I mean, yeah, you guys have said it all. I mean, he's done it. He's been there, done it all. The only thought I had, I was wondering now, I know this is not necessarily to his credit or anything. Could Apex be in that conversation if he gets this major?
In which conversation, sorry?
Go with IGL. Obviously, he didn't get his first one as an IGL, but still.
I think it's a different flow of affairs, right? I think that obviously there's the other problem is the bias of this year of Vitality being so strong in the first 6 months and then this second 6 months. I think it'll depend on what happens, going forward from this moment too. But you've kind of given me a moment of reflection, right? Because in the early days of Glaive's career, didn't he get kicked from a team early because of like a girlfriend incident?
That's a lore.
And then he ends up on Astralis. When they were previously TSM or question mark not being able to make the headway with Carrigan and co the way that they wanted to, then he comes in and they go on to build the greatest Counter-Strike team of all time. The thing that I liked about Glaive was he embodied like a leader as well. I know that feels like a bit of a throwaway sentiment, but you could see it in the way that he carried himself, right? Like and the getting fired up and everything. He wasn't just like a quiet reserve type guy. He definitely walked around with his chest out and had a lot of confidence within himself and stuff. So over there, what they built, right? We know that how fragile perfection can be, right? Because we've seen what's happened to a lot of these players' careers post, especially to Astralis post. They haven't been able to be anywhere near the level of team that they were. So it's just that moment of time that I think, we were all viewing and witnessing greatness, and Glaive was one of 6 members that were a part of that, right? So, all you can do is really take a look at this guy and think, okay, what comes next? Because a lot of this stuff, and you can see this with other members, like I just mentioned now, and there's other players too, who have been part of good or great teams, like Simple right now in BC Game, the way that it feels like people are saying, well, he's selling his career, he's selling his legacy. The same kind of thing, I guess, for Glaive when he came back and attempted, the ENS project, and it didn't really go the way that they were hoping for. Do you guys think that has any impact on the way you remember Glaive?
Not really.
I guess I just mean his playing career.
No. But I think the reality is for Glaive, like all of his success came exclusively from Astralis. That's just how he had some like decent moments before that. Even what you're mentioning, that was Copenhagen Wolves, I think, when the whole drama kicked off and whatever. That was when they were like the second. I don't know if they were even this. Maybe they were the first best Danish team at the time, but they weren't like that good. Realistically, they didn't win anything. Like if you go on his profile, all of his like HLTV trophies, like every single one is from Astralis. There's
24 of them, I'm pretty sure, right?
There's nothing before or after that. That's just, and even the craziest thing is at some point he was playing in that team. It was like Unden, MSL, and Glaive and Snappy. Like all of these guys were in the same team. He wasn't IGLing. He was IGLing for a bit. Then before he got picked up by Astralis, he wasn't IGLing in Heroic either. That was, I don't even remember who it was, but it was someone else for sure. So he was kind of a wild pick, and everything kind of had to come together for that team to work, and for him to be, potentially go to IGL. If you want to talk about Kerrigan, very different career. So I get the idea for that, but I think pure achievement wise, for sure. So does it change anything that after Astralis he didn't have any success before Astralis either? So it's essentially that one very long run of those 4 to 5 players, right? That had the success. What does that mean? I guess for me it means that I would believe I have more faith in someone like Kerrigan to adapt to any new role than Glaive, right? Because I didn't see him in any other position except this position have success. But when I saw him in this position, he had so much success that it gives you a bit of credibility, and like definitely would try it out. That's how I feel.
Yeah, it's unrivaled, right? In terms of, so this is the thing, when you guys did it, well, not me. Oh wait, actually I did it when I was saying considered by some. The whole GOAT in-game leader conversation, because everyone has different metrics of how you want to measure it, and it's a debate that is an endless debate. These are just narrative devices that people can have, right? There's nothing that's unequivocal, at least not in our space. Like if Donk had continued his from like 2024, and like that was the same level and non-stop and just dominate, then maybe that one can be open and shut.
Especially
within that
for
moment.
IGLing, it's so
right.
Such an open discussion about what do they even do, right? What is
I can already see people getting started in the chat right now, and I'm like, fucking take it outside, guys. Like like what are we doing? Just, you can have your own opinions, you can measure it by your own metrics, but in terms of being one of the greatest in-game leaders of all time, you can say that safely without a doubt, right? In terms of accomplishments and the majors being the pinnacle of all that. I think we should now transition into discussing what comes next, because Glaive put out a tweet saying he was retiring, and also that he's gearing up and wants to be a coach. So Glaive wants to step into the next chapter of his career as a coach. He's 30 years of age. The interview that he did with HLTV reads very interestingly. I would recommend that people go and give that one a peruse. It definitely looks like it's been gone over with a fine tooth comb, or maybe if you were drunk, you could think AI wrote it, but it's definitely had its checks and balances done on it, which is a little bit sad because I would love a little bit more personality to be within the interview. But all in all, the sentiment being that he wants to move on to being a coach. Now, there are going to be a lot of teams who I would imagine will be inquiring about this. Do we immediately think great in-game leader equals good coach? Like, how do you guys feel about that?
I don't know why I'm waiting for Striker to go for some reason. I just felt like he's going for this.
I was trying to remember which in-game leaders we recently had take that path, obviously, and I was just blanking for a moment. Like, obviously, we had Blade make that transition in a really good way, even though he, in terms of his success, obviously wasn't that great, but he was still, even as an in-game leader, thought of as kind of a mastermind, even if it was with teams that weren't necessarily so competitive, right? But I'm just trying to think of examples where that happened otherwise.
Honestly, me too. Why am I completely blanking on any other
There's probably
IGL?
quite a few, right?
Obviously Neo, but he wasn't really an IGL. He IGL'd sometimes.
Yeah.
He was more of just a great player. So who else is there?
I'm going through. So Sid, no. Xtaz, no. Like, not of the caliber we're talking about now.
Yeah.
Zonic, I mean, it's obviously from 1.6 times.
But he wasn't 1 point. He wasn't even
even IGL, yeah,
right?
That's true.
Mauser's Cyclone. The Mongols has Mara. Spirit has Hallie.
Saw,
yeah,
but he was. I think he was an IGL. I'm pretty sure he was.
Nobody really thought of him as a great IGL either.
But
right?
not to that. Yeah, not to that degree. Like, he was some really good IGL.
Well, that's one of the things that Glaive says. I believe I'm the first tier 1 in-game leader to transition into coaching in CS2, right? So unless we, get out the people in chat will let us know. I'm sure people in the YouTube comments after the fact will as well. Maybe we're missing something. Remember, it is 10 a.m. in the morning.
Yes, exist is probably the highest. Yes, from
sure.
Fair.
That's a good one.
Yeah. But I guess also, I was going to say time between when Exist was playing as an in-game leader to when he was a coach, but then there was the whole Dignitas thing there at the end as well.
When he was playing at his peak, on the top 5 team, that was like 2017, 2018, I would say.
But 2019 was 6 years ago. So the thing for Glaive is we're going back that far as well too. So so right.
I think that's the biggest problem, because it's not, if you would transition a Kerrigan today to become a coach tomorrow, obviously I think that would just be good. That would just be good, because you're really in.
Guys.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. That's a good one.
I mean, he wasn't playing at the top. Oh, sorry. Actually, he was playing Pugs with you, so he was playing at the top level.
And
that's
some of the most stressful Counter-Strike known to man. I'll tell you that much.
Under scrutiny every second of his being on that server. He knows every move is being watched.
Daps is another one that's just been put in the chat. So yeah, there's been a couple, but obviously not to the same caliber as somebody like Glaive. There is an interesting line here in this interview. I want to read this out. People can do with what they will. The interview to me reads as him really trying to sell himself hard to be a coach, right? So here it is. I had a crazy thought the other day, which clearly told me that this is the right choice for me now. I put myself in a situation where Vitality asked me to be their in-game leader, and I instantly knew I would reject it to pursue my dream of becoming a coach. And this is the number one reason that I know I've made the right decision for me. That was my favorite part of that interview. What do we have?
How high is that on the BS meter, do we think?
Well, why would you ever want to play with Zywoo?
I mean, the only reason I could get behind that is if I was asked personally to be the IGL of Vitality, I would say no, because I would be so bad that I wouldn't want to go through that. Either he really just doesn't believe in himself as a player anymore, or
he wants a fat paycheck as a coach. Which one do you think it is?
I don't believe Glaive would think of himself as lowly as I do think of myself as a player. So I think he has more ego than that. That if he would be asked to call Zywoo some rounds, I think he would get that. He would say yes to that.
Is there any obvious teams for Glaive to go to? Obviously, there's the new 100 Thieves project that's being put together.
I think that's a big one. Yeah, that's probably the biggest one, to be honest. I would be surprised if he didn't have a call already from them from before. So
look at that smile on Striker's face, everybody. What do you think that means?
Does he know?
So there's one option.
There's one team that always needs a new coach. I know they just got one, but that generally means that in 3 to 6 months they'll have a new one. Virtus Pro.
Oh yeah. Glaive, do you want to go to hell? We've got a one-way ticket, mate.
The fact that Virtus Pro's new coach is just called Problem is fucking hilarious. Because it's always the problem. It's just the same guy again. What the fuck?
Otherwise, like I think Saw's doing a good job over there at G2, so they're not really in the market. Like this whole FaZe situation, we'll get to talking about that later, but I don't think that'd be the case. Like maybe
Heroic if they want to change some stuff. Like I don't think I would put anything on Tobiz about like their lack of success recently. It's more about the transfers that happened with the team. I think that put them in a shit position and potentially like picking which lands to go to. But and that's like a Nordic team, so some connection there. Yeah.
Liquid just got flashy,
still coaching Astralis.
Yes,
Astralis would be a big one, probably.
Yeah,
honestly.
Not possible.
But would you even want to go there? Like, is there enough redeemable within that team to make it possible?
I think it's just shit to just recycle to that level. I think he just needs to go somewhere and like do a new thing. And also, like as you said, like this team is just very stagnant. You want to go somewhere where you can do something and not just
like have some impact.
Yeah.
But with how disappointed Ash looked yesterday after the Gamer Legion lost, maybe there's a chance that could be on the table.
I mean, to be fair though, like that team is probably going to get picked apart at this, like during this off season. I would be surprised if they kept this entire roster heading into the next year, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay.
Regardless of what happens with that whole 100 Thieves thing, like whether that even goes through, I feel like PR or Towson are going to get it call up somewhere else. Like there's so many teams looking for players that are good in those positions, so there's no way, surely.
All right, let's jump into our next piece of news because we got the major stuff, right? And we don't want to spend too long on all of this. So we just mentioned Heroic. That's activated our trap card, the next piece of news. LNZ has been removed from the starting roster over there at Heroic. The rumors are they're going to be bringing in Krizen from OG, who was obviously replaced by that of Cadian. And there's been even more rumors floating around the idea of Youngster being replaced potentially by Susp, I think was what I saw on the Twitter sphere. Striker, you're normally the man with your ear to the ground. Do these sound right to you?
Yeah, I don't know about the Susp part, but I have heard the Youngstar detail for quite a while now that they were looking into a double change. So I think that's probably pretty credible. We'll see whether, I don't know. If Susp feels to me like a bit of a side grade, so I would hope that they would go for somebody more exciting. Not that I feel like Susp is a bad player, but I also don't that Youngstar is a bad player at the same time, to be honest. I felt like he was actually a pretty good X factor in that team, and it was more about the opping side that I wasn't super sold on, so I don't know. I don't know about that.
For me, the weird part is it seems like Heroic are again putting themselves in a situation like they did in the summer where they're making 2 changes, which means unless they play with the new roster, they won't be able to make another change because they're locked into this because of the VRS and everything. And they have Alcaran, who was like, okay, maybe they're committed to this guy as the opper. There's not really any good oppers out there, as we saw recently with the tweet going around. There's like 4 good oppers in the world. So okay, let's just say we're sticking with him. But what if Aurora just tank this major? You think xCloud is not gonna be on their shopping list? And what are you gonna do then if you like already changed 2 players? Are you gonna call one of them back? To me, I've
seen it before.
I just don't think Heroic are a team that can afford to make these changes this early. You're just lower on the pecking board. You just need to wait until kind of towards the end of the transfer season to know what you can or cannot do. Otherwise, I just think they're going to be, again in a shit situation.
Isn't Alcaran still on loan as well from Spirit?
But that's what I'm saying. If they're making 2 other changes, Alcaran has to be committed to. So I hope they signed him and not like fucking dude goes somewhere else in the meantime, because it would be a weird situation right there.
Yeah. So interesting to see what happens with Heroic going forward. Obviously, they're just one of these like cusp teams, like they're within the bubble, but they need to. I guess I can understand why they're wanting to make changes.
They're under a lot of pressure to perform now. So it's especially now that they haven't made the major. I mean, heading into, they're probably going to miss out on. I wouldn't be surprised if by January they dropped far enough to miss out on Krakow, right? So they're obviously going to be in a weird position at that point.
Yeah, it feels like a 2-step forward, 1-step back situation.
I think the last thing to say though is that if someone wants a Swedish team, there's some good pieces out there, like Fuzi, definitely the best opper from Sweden. Then LNZ, okay, maybe not the most exciting IGL in the world, but kind of solid guy. Youngster, I think, is pretty good. So if you're any of these Metasports, etc. teams looking to either upgrade or do something like that, I think they should be looking at a couple of these players that could make them pretty solid.
Yeah, it's back to the drawing board for the others. I guess it just depends on what type of release it is, or bench price, or all these type of things that are going with what's going to be possible for those guys going forward. But as mentioned, can't spend too long on this stuff. Got to get into the major juice. So, Prof, we're doing a top comment of YouTube every week. This is to do with Snake, one of our sponsors. Now, we're giving away Vitality jerseys still, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
For next episode, it's not going to be the white one. It's going to be the yellow one.
Okay. Wow,
people are asking for the yellow one. They want the yellow one, but it's also going to be signed. So, lucky winner for the next episode.
You can't wear that one, though, then. You got to frame it.
Well,
you can't really wear a signed jersey, can you?
That is kind of weird. That's kind of weird.
Talk me through what we're looking at right now.
So we have a few highlights. I highlighted a few. This one, the first one, I really liked. It wasn't only seven likes on this one, but he said
you still liked it.
I liked it personally, not on the YouTube, but as a concept of liking, not the digital action of liking.
That would be like like fixing.
Yeah, I mean, maybe yes, maybe no. Flames isn't my all-time CS dream team. However, he's my number one in my CS dream blunt rotation.
Okay.
I don't think he would participate. He would participate like being there, but I don't see him as a guy that indulges.
Not at the tournament, I don't think.
Yeah.
He's also quite healthy. I'm not sure.
He's not. I've seen him after. He's not really a drinker or anything, but it doesn't really affect, as you see. He doesn't really need it. You know, he doesn't need any social lubrication. He's like socially lubricated to the max all the time. Get a lube sponsor for Flames. There we go. Second comment. Can't believe we get to see James win the major MVP again so soon.
Yeah.
This came before we saw them play. Honestly, James, it's a joy to watch this James. It's a joy to watch. It's nice. It's nice to see sometimes. And ridiculous at the same time. Then we have a few more. Comments. I don't need to read all of them.
Okay.
People hyping up Flames on the show. It was a great episode. Go watch it if you haven't. For some reason, just a random comment about the turtleneck was the second highest upvoted comment, which means turtleneck needs to come back.
Well, it's the time of year.
There will be a special turtleneck at the award show.
Wow.
And people see it.
Heard it here first.
Okay.
It'll
special turtleneck. Keep your eyes open.
Funnily enough, the winner, WIC 6296. Don't like this comment. I don't want the Vitality jersey because I'm a Furia fan.
Yeah, right, WIC.
That's classic double whammy from this guy. So he's winning the jersey. Please reach out, fantasy@hltv.org. We already sent out to, not us, but Stake did, and we keep this rolling.
Well, thanks, Stake. Thanks, WIC. And thanks, everybody, for commenting. We'll do it again next week. Maybe yellow jersey. I say next week. This will probably be uploaded in a couple of hours because we're doing it so early. All right. That's the top comment. And if you guys want to participate, you're probably watching right now in YouTube. If you're here in the live chat, you're going to have to go there after the fact, aren't you? Okay, let's jump into our next one, which is still Stake adjacent. This is one that was on the Twitter sphere yesterday. Quite a few people having a hard time understanding this. And I didn't even want to talk about it. Prof still decided to put it in the news. I can't be bothered explaining this to people, Prof. Do you want to do it?
I'll just do a quick one. First of all, let's just give the backstory. The backstory is ESIC puts out a tweet. It's like, we're partnering anti-corruption with Stake. In this case, it was Stake. Funnily enough, there was the Star Ladder betting partner, which can't be mentioned by name, on different platforms.
Our official betting partner.
They made the same announcement with them like a week or two ago. It didn't really gain that much attention for whatever reason.
Dun dun dun.
And when I saw it, not tinfoil, I'm just saying it. That's just how Twitter happens. When I saw it, my first was like, this is. But then when you think about it, where do you think people that try to match fix are going to bet? Do you think it's going to be, I don't know, Bet365 or like, the most known betting companies in the world?
Maybe.
Or is it going to be a crypto gambling website? Where do you think it's more likely that Counter-Strike match fixers will put their money? Probably, the less regulation, that's where they're going to go. And that's why maybe the person trying to find who is match fixing needs to work with these websites. Maybe that's the reason.
I feel you've gone so far in the trenches that you didn't even need to get that deep. You're like right now, there's bullets whizzing past, you got your helmet on, strikers next to you, cover me. This is all you needed to say. I said this like I'll say a couple of episodes ago. It was probably more than a couple of episodes ago now. It's one of these things with like gambling, so sports betting sponsors of tournaments, right? People seeing that and going, it's bad that the whole thing is look, if you like gambling, you like gambling. If you don't, you don't. If you like smoking, you like smoking. If you like alcohol, you like alcohol. If you don't, there's all these things, right? I think drinking is poison. I think smoking cigarettes is bad for you. I don't gamble myself. These things are all choices for you as human beings. Make them. That's up to you. Do whatever the fuck you want. I don't care. The thing for me with all of this is, though, the people who care the most about match fixing is literally these companies, because they're the ones who are going to get their pockets fucking fleeced by people out here who are taking advantage of the odds and manipulating the odds and manipulating results. They want to fight against that, because guess what? The house wants to fucking win. So the last thing they want is to be losing out on money because some people are match fixing Counter-Strike games. That's literally the last thing that they want. So it's no surprise to me that ESIC, which is meant to be our integrity commission, is partnering with these companies to be able to fight against match fixing and identify if people are up to no good and nefarious activities, right? That doesn't seem like a stretch. Like, I don't have to think too hard to understand how that makes sense. I think just a lot of people see sponsor name bad, integrity commission kind of weird. This doesn't make sense, but you kind of just have to do a little bit of fucking thinking to work it out. So
I mean, I'll add this. I won't drop names, but like there is a company that operates in this space that is probably most universally disliked by the fans across the last few years. And according to my knowledge, this is also the company that provided crucial information to get match fixers banned quite recently in a quite prominent case. So it's like, just because generally you don't like them, maybe they objectively are not a great actor for specific things, doesn't mean they can't do anything positive in this case. So it's just how the nature of the world is not black and white. It's crazy.
Funny that. It's funny that Ivan in chat just like posting a thing. It's kind of reminded me, we used to do an event, and I won't name the event, and we had a sponsor, and I won't name the sponsor, but this is going back like 6-7 years ago now. And we had these ad reads that they want us to do on the desk, and we wouldn't do them the way that was asked of us, because a lot of the stuff we didn't want to say because it was egregious. One of the things was with one of the companies was, for sure who's going to win. It's like, I'm not fucking saying that. You don't know for sure who's going to win. You got no idea. And I want to correct my statement. I said, I don't gamble. I do open Counter-Strike cases, everybody. So if you consider that gambling, and you consider the money that you put into the Steam marketplace as real money, which it isn't, right? You've all read the terms and services over there. Once it's in, it's Falvo's, it's Gabe's. That's why he's got a super mega yacht, guys, because we be out here. Love you, Gabe. So yeah, I do open Counter-Strike cases.
Anyway, that's the TLDR. We didn't need to talk about this. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter that's a stake in this case. I don't know. There's like five, as I said, there's got
traction, right?
There's a bunch of other ones that came out recently that no one said anything about, which is the same or worse in many people's opinion. But it is what it is. Just wanted to put it out there, just some clarification. It's like what we do on this podcast.
we clarify things.
We clarify.
They have
things.
loads of these too. It's like if you look at the website and the partners, they have like fucking 20 of these companies as their partners or whatever. So it's like, who cares, man?
It's just this is the one that got traction this time, which it's all good. You know, there's
United Lotteries for Integrity in Esports. What are some of these? There's this like. There are some of these things I've never heard of.
You guys know I love talking about eSig. Let's move the fuck on. Let's get out of here, shall we? All right, let's get into the major conversation. Obviously, I am on site here in Budapest, Hungary. You guys will be coming later throughout the tournament. I look outside. Today is the first day where it is not grey, not rainy, and not miserable. So that's quite nice. I will say it's been cold. It's still cold. I got my window open, a bit of fresh air. I haven't really had a chance to go around and explore too much. This is my first time here in Hungary. But in terms of...
You take some time. It's a nice city.
I would love to. Haven't had the opportunity just yet. Maybe tomorrow I'll get that chance to go around and have a little bit of a looky-loo at what's going on. Now, I have my experience of being here, and you guys have been at home consuming. So let's start with the two of you and kind of, well, how things have been from your perspective. And we may as well start with day one. Prof, you were vocal. You were combating some Twitter.
I got an
discourse.
HLTV thread about me. Did you see that?
I didn't see
HLTV
that.
shill.
Oh, okay. Oh no, I did see that actually. I did see that. Yeah. But you know, the day one, I think by all accounts, especially considering Starlighter went out and issued an apology of things not being as they should be for day number one. I think everyone would say it was diabolically bad on day number one. I don't think anyone would be shying away from that. It was tough, right? Obviously that extended delay, but consuming it from home, how has it been?
I mean, my defense was not a defense. I didn't say it was good. You know, that's one of those things. Even my tweet said it was a rough day. That's how it started. That's the start of my tweet. But the reality is, and this is something we spoke about on the podcast and privately a million times, is like most of it is literally on Valve. If you give a major to a company that hasn't run a tier 1 event in 7 years, what the fuck are you expecting? Do you expect it to be perfect? I was not. My bar was very low.
Yes, same.
My bar was lower than what happened, to be honest. Like I thought it was going to be worse.
A bit above, perhaps, but in some ways, it not. I don't know. Like the fact that they literally ran 6 streams for the first day, and I don't know if they changed that after because I wasn't paying like that much detail attention. But for the first day, because of the sponsorship stuff, the feed going out to YouTube and Twitch and Kick was 3 different streams. And then they also had 2 games going on at the same time. That's insane. I would never sign off on that idea, but at the same time, you know, money is money. You need to do stuff to make the wheels turn. It's just gonna go wrong. Shit will go wrong, and some stuff is still not fixed. And in my opinion, completely unacceptable for a major in 2025. This is not the standard that we should be expecting. But again, I put it on Valve. Like they picked Starlighter to do this based on what? You know, based on what are we expecting it to be a smooth operation? And, you know, when I read comments, it's like, oh, this is so much worse than Blast and ESL. Of course it is. Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? These guys are running tournaments every month, every other month for the last 6 years, and these guys have not run a tournament in 6 years. Where is the bar in your mind? And of course, that casual fan, the average fan that's just going to tune in for the major, doesn't give a fuck who is running the major. He just wants a Counter-Strike major to be really good. They want to tune in on the first day and be able to watch with minimal technical difficulties, and they did not get that, and that's kind of a joke, to be honest. That should not be happening.
Yeah, I think that there's you're definitely unpacking the key element here of, you know, you're putting your faith in an entity that hasn't run anything consistently for a very long time, but we also have the community not liking the fact that the duopoly of Blast and ESL existed. So guys, what do you want? Do you want to only have good tournaments run, or do you want to have other people come into the space? Because I've said this before, and I'll say it again, running a tournament is fucking hard. It's really hard. The amount of moving pieces that go into all of this is insane, right? So now we have 3 tournament organizers that are in the space and able to run events that are at the caliber that the community would be wanting. That's PGL joining the fray with the other 2. But if Valve want to make sure that, let's say that ESL, they go under, or Blast go under, or PGL go under, right? Like if any of these things do happen, there are other companies in the space to run tournaments, then I can understand why they've decided to pick StarLetter, because that was a horse that once existed and was pretty prevalent within our community and space of running events. So wanting to give them an opportunity to try and get back in, because that's the hard part, right? The problem with the partner leagues was teams were only going to go to those events. That's kind of even been a similar story to start off 2025, where PGL had the issues getting some of the bigger names. Now, slowly that's been remedied, and I hope into 2025 it's better for PGL and they can get more names. But you can see blankly how difficult it is. Now, a major, everybody wants to go to a major, so you're going to get all the teams, going to guarantee you the viewership, and it's going to guarantee you all those numbers. We were having conversations in the lead up to this where we were like, man, it's seeming tough. Like StarLetter seem like they're having a tough time getting any sponsors, right? They're obviously Nordvin being, well, Indian, but StarLetter itself being Ukrainian, and then a lot of the gambler money out there, whether or not they present as Russian gambling money, they do have ties to Russia. So as Ukrainians, you're probably not going to want to take money from those entities. So to be able to get a sponsor that suits that. But now when I'm on there, there's so many sponsors, right? So,
Yeah.
so there's a lot of sponsors that are on the show. In terms of day one, you know, and the issues, the biggest one that like, obviously the audio stuff is very grating when you're watching, and like these weird like camera changes and everything not being fluid there. The one that is the standout for me is obviously the delay. And I had people like, so we came back on air, and Roman, the producer, goes in my ear. He's like, yeah, you can say that the power went out. So like we come in and we go, yeah, sorry for the delay. There was a power issue, da. And then I'm getting tweets of people like, where's HLTV confirmed? You better say what really happened. None of us believe the power went out. And it's like, guys.
Yeah, as opposed to what? Like somebody just like pulled cables out, or like is there a conspiracy there or what?
I'm not lying for him. Like the power of production, so the power of the whole building didn't go out. The power in production went out, which is like why all the streams and everything cut. And then to be able to find a new power source, I'm pretty sure that was on the building. Like I can't speak officially about this because I don't know. Like if this was an ESL event, I know everybody. At this event, I know like 4 people. Like I know I know Roman, like the big boss Roman. I know Roman, the producer. I know Jane. That's StarLetter people I know. I know Merlin, right? But like if this is ESL, I'd know like almost every single human around me. So I don't have an official word. I'm not an official spokesman. I'm not coming out and giving you the rationale. But from what I was told and what I gleaned, the power in production went out. There was no power. They had to find a new power source to power everything back there. You go into one of these rooms, we're talking more equipment than you could possibly imagine, right? So they had to find a new power source around the building somewhere to be able to get everything back online. And that's why it took time, because they're having to bring people in externally to be able to make this happen. Again, that's my understanding. I don't know if that is exactly the case. And then
it's like one of those things that, like, if you're a more experienced TO and that's been doing this a lot more, you have those backups ready and you have protocols to make sure that doesn't happen. Or if it does happen, the delay is fairly minimal, right? Like you can minimize the damage that you've done. Obviously, you know, if it's a company that doesn't have that sort of experience, doesn't have those same protocols in place, I'm sure they have some, you know, because it's not like it's a completely blank new company like that's never hosted things before, but it's just a lot of the people that were there before that were doing a lot of these things are not there anymore. And a lot of it is external. So it's just obviously going to be a lot harder for you to work together in the same kind of way as an ESL or Blast that has the same team, same people working every month to put on events, right? So this is not even a defense. It's just a logical explanation of what happened.
But there's also things where, right, like this stuff's happened in the past. This could even be a venue thing. Again, I don't have the official answers and I'm not here to give them, but we've had stuff in events in the past where...
I mean, Rio Major had a similar thing happen, no? The power went out in production for one of the days for like some part of the... I think also during the group stage, there was some like power outage issue.
It could have. I also think there was a thing with one of these venues, I don't know which one it was, where the venue said that the ceiling, like the structure of the ceiling was load bearing for screens to a certain degree that it wasn't. So then they couldn't hang the size screens or the screens the way they wanted to. And then you have to change things. Same type of thing. Like maybe the venue tells you, oh, you got this much allowance for power, and it turns out it doesn't. Everything
you plug it in,
and
it's yeah.
Oh, okay. So look, this isn't to excuse anything. As Prof said, this is from the expectation that we have in the modern day, right? For people who were watching Counter-Strike before the pandemic, I'm not going to say this was a regular thing, but there were definitely majors where the first day or first couple of days were just like this. They were really tough for people to get through. It was
much worse, to be honest. Like early days, it was much worse than this. That's why I was like, when I saw a 2-hour delay, I'm like, if we finish by midnight, in terms of the delay, we're fine. Like it's not a big deal, in terms of what we're used to in the past. I know that people didn't grow up in this as I did, which the first whatever it was 10 majors or probably more than that. We literally started with hours and hours of delays before the first game even went live, or it went live and then 3 rounds in you had hours of delays. Like it was much worse than this.
No, I mean that was I think the FaZe it. We're trying to figure out what was the last bad major, kind of like the most recent bad major, and that was probably the FaZe it major.
Berlin was also had a lot of problems.
I don't remember that many problems for Berlin.
That's where the start later fucking meme came from in the first place. I mean, everybody was calling it that.
The FaZe it major, literally the first day, the matches were not finished. That was supposed to happen on the first day. Yeah. And to be honest, that was not down to FaZe it as much as it was down to Valve, because back in the day,
that's right. Wasn't there like an inferno happening where they couldn't hear something?
All essentially TLDR, all of the vetoing happened in the game before it, so they had to do this major update every time. Like the game needed to be updated for the major, and when that happened, every time things would break, everything would break. I don't know how, but because
they didn't actually have any testing. There was no testing possible from the TO side, because all of these updates would only happen on the day or like the day before the actual match day. So there's literally no way for you to test anything working.
How does an update for like vetoing maps in the game manage to break the fact that you can't hear footsteps on Inferno?
Yeah,
how the fuck does
weird.
That happen? I don't know. And it took like multiple games for people to realize, like, no, for real, I can't hear people. I'm not hallucinating this. And then people are, okay, we need to fix this, and we're not going to be playing until this is fixed, because this is stupid. And that was major day one, FaZe it 2018.
Yeah.
So that's where our bar is. But realistically, 70% of people watching the major today did not watch them. That's just how it is.
Yeah, that's true.
And their expectations are like, oh, I just watched I Am Chengdu and I watched, Blast Rivals and this and that, where maybe there's a tech delay, but it's not going to be 2 hours. For me, what kind of annoys me more than the fact that there was 2-hour delay is like, it seems like Starlighter almost optimized everything for like maximum potential while risking some things in the process, which is like, yeah, what happens if we do have a 2-hour delay? Then now we're finishing games at 2 a.m., which in my opinion, not acceptable at all. The standard for these days, if you look at the PGL tournament, is starting at 11, not starting at 3 p.m., And the fact that you would start that much earlier, you just have more leeway to make things work and still end at a reasonable time. The downside of that is like, if everything goes well, you're missing out on some prime time viewing hours. And I think there's a lot of things throughout the product that I saw so far that is like, it's always tweaking towards maximum potential versus, let's just make sure that we run the tournament, games happen, no drama.
They're trying to maximize the value with
they're just like tweaking that a bit more towards the side, which I wouldn't do, and that's kind of where I find that I personally am not happy.
Well, it's a rolling schedule, which is what I like. Right. I especially for stage 1 too. Like I think rolling schedule for these games, because you're only really a hardcore fan if you're watching on a Monday, right? Like, of a stage 1, especially with the quality of Counter-Strike that we've seen. We'll get to that. We're not there yet. So like the rolling schedule is something that I really like. The fact that we just keep the day flowing and the matches keep coming. I think that the thing that I didn't read too much into, but I think what your tweet was about, Prof, was regarding some of the Twitter sphere, like things of how they were calling like Starlighter shameless for like not having any audio of the desk or the casters on Twitch and YouTube while it was on Kick. It's like, guys,
The fact that just went to like completely reason went to the side, and you're like instantly to the conspiracy. And you're like, bro, this is the first thing that happened in the tournament. Like, are you really thinking conspiracy first before like any sort of logic enters the conversation? Like, I'm sorry.
It's all the people who feel slighted, right? Because they've not been given co-streaming rights. So like they're just trying to blow it up. And this is it. Like, I've spoken about this in a couple of recent, podcasts I've done, but the fucking Twitter sphere these days, I fucking hate it. It's gotten so ugly and disgusting out there, and it's not what it once was, as I say, as a fucking boomer. But
my big issue with the whole audio thing is that like there's not even a consistent experience across the stream audio wise. Like the B stream is actually literally better. Like it sounds better than the A stream, and it has been for the whole 3 days. Yeah.
Okay. Like the quality of the mics, the in-game sound, or what?
In-game. I mean, in-game sound. Everything else is, I feel like, more or less the same. But the in-game sound, literally, you hear footsteps so fucking much on A stream. Like, it's insane. It overpowers everything else. It sounds like you're in a fucking like empty hall or whatever, because like everything's echoing like crazy. And B streams are kind of fine. It's not perfect or whatever. Like, it's not on the same level as the others, as the other TOs. But that's like the B stream experience is actually pretty okay. But then the FPS is also not great. Like the whatever it is, I don't know exactly what the setting is, but it just feels very choppy, and it just feels like it's not quite smooth enough for like the level of tournament that we're at. So, but that was my biggest problem, to be honest.
Well, everything that you guys would hear on the stream is what we hear directly into our headset. So I can definitely understand why people at home are having a tough time, mate. After we had the issue with the FaZe Linvision game, and then we came back after the power and everything was restored, the audio there was insane. Like, it didn't feel real. Like my brain is able to kind of channel these things out and just like get on with it. Alex is a little bit more like he's been taking Tylenol, and he like, it's hard for him, right, to be able to concentrate. Like, because we had like an echo of sound, and it was super weird and crackly, and like it was tough, like really tough. So like for me, when I ended, it was like I had just been getting like music pumped into my head for like an hour, and I just didn't feel like I was on this planet anymore. And that's fine. Like I just like would calm down and everything would go. But like for what you guys listen to at home, imagine having that pumped into your head while trying to talk and do the job at a comparable level. It was like, that was really hard. But then once we shifted into day 2, and especially day 3, from our end, there's no dramas. Like, the thing is, it's still very style coded right now. When we cast tournaments, we have setups where we don't have to stand up with our neck bent like a crane to look at monitors, because we're doing it for hours at a time, right? And it gets really tough on your neck and your back, and you get all the Starlight are still doing the classic like monitor thing, and we've discussed it with them, and they're trying to work on some ways to fix that. But those are just like the little things that are tough for us to have to deal with on our end to do our job the best we can. But now that the audio is working, at least for us, that's fine. That's it. Like now it's all good. We can do our job. Like we're not being like constantly disrupted by things. We'll get the proper video feed so we can see what's going on. Like we didn't know day 1 when we were on camera. So like they would say like Q, and we didn't know. So like Alex and I are looking at each other, and then we're not on the PGM. The PGM is what we assume is the feed that you guys at home get. So we think like, if that's what we can see, that's what you can see. But it wasn't like we would be there and we'd be looking at each other like, okay, we're live, I guess. And then you can't cast sitting down because the angle of the monitor, you can't see the screen. So you need to stand up. So I'm standing up, and then I look back on some of these clips, and I'm like, oh, we're standing up, and I'm adjusting my trousers. And I'm doing, like, oh, okay. Sorry, everybody. I didn't mean for that to be the case. But yes, since we got into day 2 and day 3, at least on my end, we had a couple of like tech issues or things that needed to be fixed, but nothing crazy egregious that was like a long tech issue. Everything's just kind of been flowing. So like again, like people in chat are like comparing this to like a Blast event. Someone here said Blast Rivals in Hong Kong versus this is night and day. Again, maybe you missed the part of the conversation where we're saying if your expectation was that StarLadder was going to be equivalent to a Blast or an ESL, I don't know what to tell you. But you're just a new viewer, I guess.
Oh yeah, but also Blast Rivals 8 teams, 1 stream, 3 days in an arena with a crowd. The rest is behind closed doors. This is 16 teams, arena from day 1 with production. Also, when I was saying like, oh, they have 3 streams, I wasn't even counting potentially there's a 4th that they're putting out on the on the screens in the arena, right? Because they might want to take off the X-ray there and not on the stream. So there might be a fourth feed going out, and there's a world feed going out as well for partners and stuff. There's so much going on versus just a blast rivals Hong Kong. It's a completely different scale of a product.
And then we get the other side of this. We cover this as well. And someone going, fuck it, give it to ESL and Plus. We just covered this, guys. Like, we're no longer in the partner era. We're in the era where you want there to be more TOs because the competition is going to breed the innovation, right? It's going to keep everybody on their toes. It's going to get them to change and do things. Why would you not want StarLadder to be part of this? I understand that maybe day one is not up to the standard that you guys have come to expect, but it was the stage one teams. And again, I'm not trying to excuse it.
It doesn't matter because they suck, says Chad.
But it's okay now. Everything's fine. Everything's flowing now, right? Like everything's flowing, everything's happening. Everything's going to be okay, right? And it's kind of an induction for some of you newer Counter-Strike fans into what the old world was like. So, now we don't have to be like back in my day. It's in your day too, right? It's really quite nice.
People thought Stockholm was the throwback major. This is the real throwback major.
There's some things that have been going on, right, in terms of StarLadder that I think that have been good. Like, there's some nice innovations in terms of what's been happening. I think like the fact that we're getting a crowd from stage one in Europe, right? That's pretty unusual. We don't, like, in China we're able to do that. In Europe, it's not saying this case. The setup's really nice in the arena, right? The setup's really nice. I like the screens. I like the way that they're like just the way that they're graphically displaying things, like visually. I think it's pretty cool.
They actually made it. They actually managed to make this tournament look different to everything else, which is honestly in this day and age is pretty rare for you to kind of stand out in a, like, not all of it is in a good way. I mean, for example, like some of this, like the post-elimination fucking sad music parade is fucking horrible, and I hope they give up on that, because it is really shameful, to be honest, even to put teams through this. And like, I'm even from the side of the people that go kind of like teams should just suck up more things and just like fucking take it. But this is a bit too far in that direction.
The humiliation
in my eyes, to be honest. Exactly, because it's like at this point,
you don't like it.
No, obviously not. I mean, it's just like it's like the whole thing altogether. It's just, there's like a funeral, and obviously it is. You should carry it across that it means something, and it's like this elimination is bad and all that stuff.
Their year is over with that. It's a big deal.
Like, it is a big deal. I'm not saying that there shouldn't be some sort of a like something to carry across the weight of the moment, right? But like having them stand as a 5 and like literally seconds after they are eliminated, it's just like having the slow camera like going across their face and things like that. It just feels like it's a little bit too much,
Chad, you're a fan of the Survivor, the show, right?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, I remember this. So this is that the torch element of the Survivor. But I think that is the problem, because you don't need to make it. You don't need to try so hard to like pass this on to the viewer.
Okay.
I think I think the fact that you are trying so hard makes it so jarring and makes me like, I couldn't watch the Gamer Legion thing. I was cringing so hard. It felt, because I saw a few of them before, but it was for teams that I didn't see the Lin Vision one when Emilia was crying and all of that. But I saw some I think I saw one of the Red Canids when they got eliminated. They didn't really expect much, so it's just like, oh, this is kind of weird, but whatever. But then when you see a team that's really sad that they got eliminated,
imagine FaZe there.
Then it felt so bad. It's just like,
isn't it meant to feel bad though? Isn't that the point?
But you're not meant to be like, it's not meant to be.
Why are you lining them up to be like, you guys fucking suck? Fucking stand here. Let us all
get the premise, right?
So compare this to the Shanghai Major thing, when like obviously FaZe lose, right? And they're just in their seats and like Kerrigan's crying and stuff like that. That is okay, because that's just, you're capturing what's happening. And you're forcing the situation.
At any point, Kerrigan can just leave, go backstage, and have his time away from the camera. He knows that this is the competitive area. As soon as you leave, there's kind of an unspoken rule of like what you can and cannot record and take photos of. I feel like StarLadder has a different opinion on that, and they have shown this in the past as well, with the iconic Alexi B picture that was taken at the StarLadder Major, where they think it's fine to like follow people into like a locker room and take photos there. I think that's not cool, because it's just not the standard that we have in this. And I think that this is a continuation of that. I just disagree. I just think it's like, I think it's making a kind of a farce of a moment that is genuinely in itself. It is sad. You don't need to make it American reality TV skit out of it. It's like, oh yeah. Also, by the way, take that thing and put it over here and now sign it. It's like, why are we doing all of these things? Like, what is this adding? What is this really adding? Just get one guy.
Think about the hate washers when Falcons lose or Astralis lose or
who
whatever, right?
To, right?
Those hate washers are going to be eating good.
Yeah.
I just want to let the record show I'm playing devil's advocate here for the point of this conversation.
And what is your real opinion? Tell us what you really think, Chad.
I don't really think anything, to be honest. In these scenarios, would I like it if I was a player? Probably not.
It's not even about it. Really, now it's not even about that, because again, as I said, like, I think players are just sometimes so fucking spoiled and they don't want to do anything and stuff like that. And this is like that really should stop in some to some degree. But yeah, there's a difference between capturing a sad moment and forcing a sad moment, or just like enhancing a sad moment, because there are plenty of ways you can like show them while they're packing their stuff, and they're just like there's the famous device picture where he's just literally like at their RMR for the Paris Major, where or was it the no, it was the RMR, where he's just like staring at the fucking Blast logo, like he's just like in his chair and just going like this. You can capture that without doing anything about it, and like if they're really sad about the moment, you will get plenty of things to show to carry across how the weight of what just happened.
But Striker,
there's plenty
imagine
of ways
this.
You can do that.
Imagine this. After Device loses there, they line up the whole team, the whole Astralis team, they line up up. They need to like all strip naked and then get like fucking cold water shower.
Where's this going?
And then kicked out of the building.
Prof.
Into the snow. What do you think about that? Wouldn't that make it like better, the whole moment?
Look,
I think we should consider this for Cologne.
I think
Chad, maybe you have some strings are there to pull, please.
This is subjective, right? Like this is different people have different opinions. Lucas, are you with us? Okay, can you run a poll right now and see the viewers if the viewers that we have right now like it or they don't? Because some people might like hearing the insights or hearing those things. No,
the insight is like taking an interview is fine. I don't think any of that is wrong or anything like that. I mean, that's just part of what happens anyway, right? I mean, you have to, if anything, like especially if it's a bad elimination, you have to hear from a player or from like a captain or from a coach or whatever, like what just happened, why did it just happen, like how bad is this for the team that it just happened, blah blah blah. Like all this is normal and that's totally fine. It's the whole parade around it, that is the problem.
Okay, so it's a bit like Game of Thrones-esque where, what was her name? Cersei's going down the street and they're all throwing food at her.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So that's kind of the angle.
Lucas asked you what the question is.
Oh, the question, do you like the humiliation ritual?
Do you like humiliation ritual? Humiliation ritual.
So we're learning people's kinks here today. Yeah. But Prof, you were saying in terms of some of the media that they were doing, and I didn't quite grasp it. I don't think I've seen it. You were saying there's something that you're liking that they're doing. Is it mid-series?
I think Striker said it. But no.
So what they're doing is effectively like how you see those media day interviews where they're like sitting down and like there's like a backdrop or whatever, and they're like talking about the upcoming tournament or whatever stage. They're doing this for like upcoming matches mid-stage. Like they're after for example, after the like NRG went 2-0 and they were going into this second match, they were talking about what happened already at the tournament, and they actually had like they were building the storyline well from the kind of like a media day interview style perspective, which we don't really see at any tournaments these days, because these days the way it works, and obviously you know this, but like for the viewers, like you do a media day before the tournament and you do those interviews there, and you do or before playoffs matches, but never during groups. Effective, like you always do only the pre-match where it's just like Banks standing with the player or whoever else it is that's standing with the player and talking to them, whatever, half an hour before the match starts. They're doing this probably the morning of or maybe the night before or something like that. So there's a bit of distance. There's a bit of time for them to actually think through the answers, or you can pick through the answers, like what's interesting, what builds the story better. And like that actually made it work. Like I actually got the weight of the match from that way better than at any other tournament, to be honest. Like especially when it's a group stage like it's a group stage match, but it's obviously major. It means a lot. It's not an elimination, but a qualification match. Even an elimination match, I think they did the same thing, you know. So it's that part is cool.
Yeah, okay. Well, I think there's quite a few things that are cool. Like the poll, whether it's concluded now or not, we've had about 50-ish people vote, and it's like close to 60% no, 40% yes. This is what I'm saying, right?
That's more 50-50 than I expected, to be honest.
But this is what I genuinely think it is, because like I don't think, I think that we can sit there and we can like grimace at it or whatever, but regardless, we're talking about it and it's creating a dialogue. So whether people want to face it or they don't want to face it, Starlight is getting more from the player, which is the main thing, right? This is what the viewer wants, right? The viewer is, it's all player and game centric. Whether we like it or we don't like it, it doesn't matter. It's the end result is getting what I would imagine from a product perspective is what you're hoping for. More eyeballs, more conversation, more this, right? So that's definitely what's happening. And I don't know which side of the fence I'm on. Some of them are not fun to watch. Some of them might glean information or a reaction then that we were able to read into or learn something from. And right, we'll see. We'll see what happens. So you know, I don't love it. I don't hate it. It's just it is right. And I'm sure there'll be more stuff that's going to be happening throughout the event, right? So yeah, what other stuff, like in terms of the HUD? Like I'm a sidebar preferer, but this
I like this, to be honest. I like the bottom. I like the bottom sidebar type thing.
Lots of information on it.
Totally fine. Yeah, everything. Nothing's missing there. Like I don't feel like anything's missing from the HUD. The only thing that I noticed was like, and this is like so fucking minor, the color of the tees and the bomb site, like the red, like that shows where the bomb site is. Okay. They overlap, so like those colors overlap so much that sometimes it's hard to see that somebody's on the bomb site on the radar. So that's literally the only thing I have a problem with. Whether you choose slightly different colors for like what a TCT color is for the T colors, who cares, man? Like everybody understands who's who. Yeah. Fucking blasted purple and whatever the other color was. So it was like, this is totally fine.
Yeah, I think that's all good. Just trying to think what other stuff has been happening with it all. Yeah, okay. Let's get into the. Actually, it's perfect. We're an hour in. Lucas, let's go to an ad break and we'll come back and then we'll start talking about some of the results of the Counter-Strike itself. Be right back, everybody.
Ever wanted to try Refrag? Well, now you can. For the viewers of HLTV Confirmed, you can claim a 1-week free trial for the world's best CS2 training platform, letting you try out all of our features, like the Refrag Coach, which will analyze your games and give you a personalized training plan. You can also try out Challenger, an all-new game mode, which will test your retake abilities in realistic in-game scenarios. Try Refrag today for free using the link in the description.
You're a CS player and you won a major. It's not something people can take away from you, you know?
No matter what would have happened in that tournament, I'm glad I got benched.
It's just hard, you know, like when I look back at this image, all I see is that I failed.
When Device decided to quit the team, that was like the nail in the coffin.
Okay, this is where I want to be, this is where my place should be.
You know, if I could trade in all the trophies to just have my father back, that would be a fair trade.
All right, and we have a Stake promotion, weekly reload from Stake and HLTV Confirmed. Claim it via support. Use code HLTVORG, and you'll get $35 across 7 days after mid-deposit of $20. That's stake.games/join. Question mark entry equals HLTVORG. That's the, you like that? You like that?
Yeah, I agree. You read the whole URL.
Yeah.
You read it. It's in the description as well on Kick, so you can find the link there.
That's for new users, everybody. So remember to gamble responsibly. Okay. We do have a Skinionaire coming up. Don't worry. We'll get to that before we finish the episode, but we still have just under an hour to go. Now, we were talking a little bit broader about Star Ladder and some of the overreactions or underreactions or just reactions, and I'm sure there'll be more of that will be remembered as we go through. I'll just give everybody a little bit of a perspective from me, somebody at the event, in terms of the hotel I'm in. It's great. It's not the same one as the players. That's actually quite nice because there's nobody at breakfast and I could use the hotel gym. In terms of the we're called talent. I hate the term. That's what they call us. They should just call us like commentators or broadcasters. Anyway, That's a standard. That's not a starter thing. But the talent manager is great. She's doing a fantastic job on top of everything. They're talking to the producers. Everyone's on the same page. Everyone's having a good time. We're doing the best we can. We're working through the problems. Hope everyone's enjoying the Counter-Strike, even though it's been quite hard to enjoy the Counter-Strike. And that's not Star Ladder's fault. It has been like watching people drunk and blindfolded trying to throw hands in some of these games. It's been, and if anybody wants to say because of best of ones, I'll have a lengthy chat to you. The quality of Counter-Strike in these matches has not been determined by the format, whether best of one or best of three. Someone just typed best of one suck. It's got nothing to do with that. It's got to do with the way that these players are truly conducting themselves in the server. It has been some dog shit Counter-Strike. I don't know how else to put it, guys. Like, it's been some rough CS to watch.
It's called stage one for a reason, I guess. I think the biggest problem is that even the best teams that we would like namesake wise, they played so bad that you don't have like that saving grace and be like, oh yeah, well, FaZe and Gamer Legion killed everyone and it was great. So it's all of these other teams from Asia that are shit. No, it's not true. Unfortunately, it's not true.
Probably one of the biggest, what do you call it? Culprits of this, to be honest.
It's been hard to some of these games.
Some of them were fun though. Some of them were fun, but like most of it was fucking. It was funny. It's funny to watch and just talk shit in Discord about. Every round, and whatever game you're watching seems like the other one is more of a shit show.
You were talking about hate watching, this is the hate watching stage because it's just like you can shit on everybody being like looking really rough, to be honest, and it's just it's like we were talking about this privately. It's like there's type of shit CS that produces like a lot of great individual moments, like super tense moments that are really cool to watch and like you're excited about them. But even that's not been that good. Like in terms of individual plays, it's not been that amazing. Like when something bad happens in the game, it usually is just like somebody's just like missing horrible sprays, or there's like a 1v3 situation where somebody's defending or defusing in a smoke and like nobody knows where the bomb is planted and like shit like this. And it happens 3 times in the same map even of the same game. Like the Huns against Imperial Mirage, man. Like nobody needs to watch that again. Like I would just tell
what
you
was
that.
Zerlo doing going for that knife, bro? I don't know what that was.
Zerlo going for the second knife in the game and just like instantly regretting it. That it's like they're down 3-7 or whatever it is at that point. They're just like about to be eliminated from the major, and this guy is trying to farm more, or I don't know what he's doing, and it's that was one of the worst ones, and that was like because Huns, I said it before, I think they are the worst team at the tournament, even if they didn't go 0-3, and that's part of it. But still, like it's been kind of rough outside of that too.
Just shows you how bad like Rare Atom was, right, or Lin Vision was, right, for example, and like Lin Vision looked completely devout of the team that we once knew. Like there was nothing going on there. There was I can't even fathom what we were watching with Lin Vision in the server. This does, however, make me want to talk about 2 more broad picture things regarding majors. So not just the Star Ladder major, but majors. I am not for us having stages. I want everybody at the event to start at the same point, right? That's what I want, right? If we're not going to get that, can we do this? Can we make stage 1? And this is going to be crazy because I've already seen people typing best of one suck in chat. Guys, the Counter-Strike is worse in stage 1 than the best of ones. Stage 1 should only be best of ones. None of these teams deserve to play best of 3s. Earn the right in stage 1 to get to stage 2 and stage 3, where we should make only best of 3s in stage 2 and stage 3. Because the Counter-Strike that these teams were playing in stage 1 was really bad. It was really bad. NIP lost 13-7 or some shit to NRG with daps playing. FaZe also lost
to daps,
guys. And you can sit, and I even tell the story. I don't think daps is the worst possible coach to stand in. There are many worse coaches. Daps is still essentially a 6th man with how active he is in the server. Right? So this is no disrespect to daps, but this is meant to be the major where the polish of the teams on display is the peak. You can't be losing to a fucking coach if your name is FaZe Clan. What is going on? It's been bad, guys. The CS level has been bad. It needs to get better, and it will get better. But here's what I'm saying, Valve. Hear me now. Stage 1, sacrifice them. Sacrifice them in the ritualistic type Counter-Strike environment where they only play best of ones. The whole thing, only best of ones. And then stage 2 and stage 3, they will reap the rewards of the sacrifice of many. They will be blessed with best of 3s for all rounds in stage 2 and stage 3, and the major will be saved. Cool. Nice.
I agree.
Yep, great.
We somehow, I don't know how we got to the same conclusion together, Chad. Like we literally had the same thought at the same time after watching how horrible this stage was. We're like, can we please have less of this in the future? Please. So that we can have more of the other stuff.
It does really feel unfair to like the 1 or 2 good teams that like will be in stage 1, that might actually, the fact that you're playing best of ones, you're playing against someone with a smaller map pool, it kind of eliminates that factor, that advantage that you need to have, right? And some of the results can be slightly random. But for the most part, I agree. I don't agree for reality would be really fucked up. But as a viewer, fuck it. At the end of the day, everyone had the chance to simply be in stage better. 2.
Yeah.
Simply be invited to stage 2. And that's why some of the, why is FaZe in stage 3? Why are they here? There's a reason why they are here. I know our like cognitive dissonance or whatever is working because it's FaZe. Like they are here for Gamer Legion was here for a reason. And this system is not biased against them. I mean, it is to some degree because in EU, how it works and everything, but it's really not. If anything, they had more chances than anyone. They got the wildcard invite to CAC. What they do there, lose to Foot twice. What the fuck is going on?
That's true. Yeah.
That is just where some of these teams are. The teams are not good.
Yeah.
And when did daps retire? I can't find this. Did he ever actually retire?
daps
because
never retired.
He is just floating between these two states. He's like water, sometimes frozen, sometimes liquid.
Yeah, and I'm all for the daps story. Like, I can see a bit of myself in daps. I'd love to get an opportunity to get out there in the server at a major. He's winning 1v2s and shit, and he's outperforming some of his. He's in the series they played yesterday. The map that they won, he was the best performer. Like, it's kind of wild, right?
Yeah, but then you saw, to be fair though, like you could tell that it was just kind of a one-off because the next game out in Inferno, he was looking like he was playing at AFPL and just like not taking into consideration that there's a lurker on the map and just like stomping everywhere, trying to make sick flanks, getting destroyed every single time by Crims, like trying to make flanks happen. So it's like, there's no good and bad.
There's no way this Iron Tummy character in chat really thinks that FaZe Clan's performance at this event is due to best of 1 randomness.
I mean, if you thought, bro, they were literally about to lose in a best of 3 to Red Cannons, you cannot say that. You cannot possibly say that, bro.
Like, what are we talking about?
Just watch the Red Cannons fucking nuke game and like tell me that was.
I guess let's talk about FaZe. Let's talk about FaZe.
You want to go straight to FaZe?
That's the biggest topic right now in the team. I think this is the thing. What this guy said is what most of us want to think, and that's like, oh, FaZe always does this, FaZe blah blah. We need to open our eyes. Because tweets are not real, but FaZe Clan and their performance is real. And maybe I'm biased also here because like the 2 events that I did as an analyst was Bucharest and CAC. And these are events where FaZe was one of the favorites, if not the favorite, to win. So it's a team that I followed most in detail outside of the top, Vitalities and co. They always, this whole year, they have looked bad. They have not at one point looked like a good team outside of fucking Shanghai Major Final, which is not this year, right? They have not won a tournament in a year and a half. The eye test of whatever combination of player they had, probably it looked the best with fucking Simple in the group stage. That probably looked the best. Yeah, and even that didn't really look that good. So they're just not that good. They're just not that good. Nothing is good about this team. And
there are two things that are good about this team.
Okay, Frozen is really good right now. Twists or Elige back in the day individually were good. Twist this event, not really either.
Yeah, he's good,
and that's it.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's all their positives. And I know, Chad, you spoke about this in the podcast and also on the broadcast. You'd be like, these two guys, they should be good enough for FaZe to get through this. And I would still want to believe that in stage 1 that would be good enough.
Oh, they're winning today.
But
they're getting through today. Don't you worry about that.
Yeah, I thought that yesterday as well.
I did both Fluxo best of 3 losses. There is no way. I'm not eating a hat or a boot or anything like that. I'm not putting anything on the line. I cannot see a world where FaZe lose to Fluxo today. I don't know how it would be humanly possible after watching Fluxo play 4 maps of Counter-Strike and winning 14 rounds over those 4 maps, and 2 of them being their map choices.
So you'd say they're worse than Red Canids?
Yes.
Canids?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, this is like, how do I frame this? But this lineup of Fluxo is quite... You know the concept of upcycling?
Yeah.
Well, this is downcycling of players.
Yeah, but they got to go somewhere.
Yeah. But it's still being used, but in like worse and worse use cases, let's say.
Like, so here, let's put ourselves in FaZe's position for 1 sec, right? If we look at the FaZe scenario, they know that they should be better than this stage, right? Like mentally, they should be aware that the caliber of their players in that team, they have 3 major winners. You got Twists, you've got Carrigan, you've got Brokey. Now, the Brokey conversation might break me. But just with that alone.
Did you see the stats about the T-sides?
I did.
Oh.
Wait, which one? Sorry?
So he was, before that game on Nuke, he was 0.59 or some shit on T-sides over 10 maps. Over 10 maps, he was 0.59 on T-sides in the last 2 tournaments. Like that's like, I don't remember any top player ever having that sort of a stat line. Like, I've never seen anybody. No in-game leader has been that bad over 10 maps. Like, okay, 1 tournament you will have a really shit time. I get it. 2nd tournament, maybe you're gonna start bad, but like 2 tournaments deep, you are fucking useless on these sides.
But Striker, best of ones.
Yeah, that's where the sample size of 10 maps comes in. How, like, that's what I was talking about this yesterday. So it is just impossible for your pack to be this bad. It is, you just cannot, you will not get enough done with pack this bad. And I was even looking through the stats. They are the worst team at getting opening kills on T sides. Why do you think that is? Because their pack just doesn't do anything.
This is Jacob Kerrigan.
It's not even just Jacob Kerrigan Brokey. I mean, it's not just Jacob, right? I mean, it's just that there's not enough there. You can't have Frozen and Twists on the extremities being the only ones who are capable of having some sort of a consistent output. It's just like purely it is a firepower issue.
Well, look,
NIP game.
Here's a few things that we need to. Yeah, the NIP game. Oh, damn. This surely cannot be the team for 2026.
No.
Okay. So it's over.
The problem is no, whatever. Like, we can get into that discussion after the major. That's too early.
So, but we can all agree that this can't be the thing going forward. So we all agree on that. That's great. We all agree on that. The question being, it's bad, but how bad? Now, obviously, the performance and results are below the expectation of the community, below the expectation of themselves. They go into today's match, and I'm saying adamantly they can't lose. Now, obviously, they can lose, right? I just don't want to believe in my heart of hearts that they can lose today, because that would be so bad. Like that, today they are set up, right? Let's look at their results, right? If we went last year and we said that in stage 1 of the major, which wouldn't make any sense, why the fuck FaZe would be in stage 1 of the major, that the teams
stage 1 of the major.
Yeah, true. You're right. Okay, well, let's go back to Austin then, where there was stage 1 of the major. Let's say that you had to beat a combination. You just had to beat 3 of these 5 names to make the Lin Vision, NRG with a coach, NIP, Red Canids, and Fluxo. Then we would say without a doubt, they would make it through to the next stage. There couldn't be any problems in the world. There obviously are some problems. It's not about we can go on the opposite side of this too and say, okay, well, now they've broken through that mental barrier and they're going to win today, and then they're going to go into stage 2 with opponents that are more of the caliber that they'd expect, and da. I can't even start that conversation. I want them to make it to stage 2, right? Because I want that to be true as well. I want them to start playing a better caliber of Counter-Strike and starting to get it together, because people I was saying were like, well, they had this many weeks off. What have they been doing? It's a fair question. It doesn't look right. And whether that's a pressure thing, again, I still thought that the players would be able to individually bail them out of scenarios. I understand Counter-Strike's a team game. I understand that more than anybody.
Did that yesterday.
He did with that new performance, right? Yeah. So yeah, you can see it, but it's what do you do?
I think that what you're saying there is I thought the individuals would be able to bail them out, but I think what you said, what I highlighted, what you said is okay, throws and twists. But then what Striker said is also reality. Yeah, they have 2 amazing players, but they also have 3 players that are below the average of their roles on a top team.
Okay.
And these 3 are negating the quality of the 2, and especially when Twists wasn't what we expected him, what he has been in FaZe so far, right? And that is top 10 player, top 10 player in the world, right? That was his kind of level since he joined FaZe. So
he's been okay, to be fair. He's
I
just
thought
not
he
been
was really
blowing
strong
people out
when
of my mind.
joined.
He was fine. He was yeah. He's been great the whole phase.
I'm just saying for this tournament. I'm just saying for this tournament.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just saying for this tournament, Twist hasn't been what we saw previously. So if you don't have him and Frozen at the same time being insane, the other 3 are realistically below average. I mean, Brokey, Oppers, again, in a shit position. Not many good ones, but he is objectively pretty bad. Jacob, even when he has decent stats, this guy just has no confidence. He has no confidence. Every peak that he makes looks like he's not going to win it. Here and there has some bursts of some frags that he picks up, but more often than not, he just doesn't look like a player that should be on this team, and he just feels completely out of place. To some degree, don't blame him. It is what it is. And then Kerrigan is Kerrigan. You don't really expect him to go huge, but actually he will here and there, and he did save them on Nuke as well in some rounds. He has been actually pulling together some things, and I just think they're not a team of strong individuals. I think that's the mistake that we have, because they have been always, but they haven't been for a long time actually now. Rain is not a strong individual. People are talking about, they removed Rain. Being on this team or not does not change anything about this team. They have not been good with Rain on this team. The fact is, yes, they had one miracle run at EPL, getting to a semifinal at one of the least important tournaments of the year, which is a studio event. Why are we talking about this like they fucking, I don't know, beat Vitality in a grand final? G2 beat Vitality in a grand final. FaZe beat Spirit in a studio. This is what they did. They're just not that good. And I think the reality is they need to be a better team. They don't really do much. Their CT side, even against NIP, what did they do? They just sat in the bomb site, waited for Snappy to do whatever the fuck he wanted, and then we're not getting triple kills on the bomb site hold. No fucking way. Jacob is holding the site. He's not going to get a triple kill. It's just not going to happen when he has like a lurk smoke coming in and fucking Wrinkle posting on up wherever he's trying to do anything. There is no depth to their game, and their individuals are not that good. Therefore, they're a bad team. And doesn't matter what happens, they need to change this lineup. They just need to do it. They can make a playoff of the major. They need to change like 2 players. That's just how
We're
it
not
is.
gonna make this team's not making anywhere near.
But it doesn't even matter. Like, even if they would make a miracle run, we all know this doesn't make sense.
Sure. Yeah. They can't use like some miracle results as justification for it working, because it ain't.
Yeah, I mean, like there's no, not that there's no reason to think, but there's obviously Brokey's in there somewhere, right? And like even late last year, when people thought he was being shit, he still had a couple of good tournaments. He still had a couple of good tournaments this year. Most of them have been pretty bad, but we still occasionally see the signs of old Brokey, and just somewhere it happens. So like if he somehow rediscovers that form, then I can see FaZe doing something, but he's not going to do that consistently. So like what's the point?
All right, let's do this then. FaZe is dead. How much more can we get out of the dead horse of FaZe? All right, let's see. Today will be the first
I think
point.
they're bombing out to the next stage. Like, I think they're bombing like 1-3, 1-0-3 even.
Okay, because we need to talk about the next stage too, which means we need to kind of swift up this conversation, because I have to go in about 35 or so minutes, gentlemen. I'm sorry that we're on the clock, but I do have a shuttle to catch. Let's put a pin in the FaZe conversation, like in the sense of I don't think any of us have too much faith of how they're going to produce. I would like to see them win now, have the pressure of not faltering as the clear flagship
I hope they
team.
win convincingly today. Like, I just don't want to see another fucking struggle fest like against Red Cannons. Like, how? Like, just win convincingly so you have some level of confidence that it's improving. Like, you're on the way up, Just don't have it be like another fucking double OT survival game into like decider, whatever.
History is so bad. I can't. I just have to say it. He was so bad. It was crazy. That new game, the 1v1 against Kerrigan, brother, you have a smoke and a molly, and you go for a defuse, sitting the widest possible angle. And I know it's pressure, it's a major, but that should have just realistically ended there. Should have just been over. Should have been Jover. I just had to get it out. He was also whiffing everything. I just had to get it out. It was.
Sometimes we got to express ourselves, and that's what we got to do. Okay. Let's quickly, guys, just glaze FlyQuest for me quickly. That'd be nice. Thank you.
I didn't watch a single game, but I love this. I did predict them to go through. Like, I really thought they would go through. I just never got to watch them.
Okay. Did you watch them, Prof?
Very little. Very little. They're just in and out the game so fast that there's nothing to see. And they also played kind of dog teams, to be honest. So it wasn't really peak of my interest. Okay, yeah, that's true. Good job.
Not their fault all the other favorite teams played badly. They just play who's in front of you.
Good job.
They dominated in their victories. They weren't close games. They absolutely prawned them. I don't need to spend too much time saying this because people have already heard it. And from me, I guess people don't really care. But they look like a team. Vexite's playing very well in these opener positions. They looked composed. Communication was on point. They were playing situations together. Right, like a lot of get info, double swing, or wait for each other, set the spacing up. They were playing proper Counter-Strike. That's it. They were just playing Counter-Strike as they should, and it's good for Inns. This was his 7th major, and it's the first time that he's won a best of 3 / progressed to the next stage of competition at a major, which is cool. Obviously, it is only stage 1, as we all know. That's why I'm not saying the first time this, just the first time that, and hopefully that breakthrough, because he's been plugging along for a while. So good on FlyQuest, and great to see an Aussie core winning a best of 3 at a major for the first time since 2019. Okay, we won't spend too long on it because, as I said, people don't really care. It's really just me and 6 other people in the whole Counter-Strike community. What's the Skinionaire about? Just quickly.
It's like our major RMR history, kind of early eliminations and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's do that, because that's something for everyone in chat to get involved in. So everyone in chat, you need to type the other word for epidermis, and then the other possible words, which could be like association or group maybe even like society or league, you need to type those words as a combination. So you put them together, the other word for epidermis, then the other word for like an association or a group, and you put them together.
Or the name of a sandwich.
Or the name of a sandwich, and you put them together, and then you put them in chat. And then what happens when you put them in chat is it becomes your raffle ticket to enter the draw for Who Wants to Be a Skinionaire. Hey, okay, cool. We all got there. We're going to be doing 5 questions, multiple choice. Striker and I are going to be answering these because I think Prof knows the answers. Every question we get right, we'll move the notch up 1 with the grand prize being a $50 skin that could go to one of you very lucky winners in Kick Chat right here, right now, today. Okay, let's get this one underway. Thanks to our lovely sponsor. That's Epidermis Association. All right.
Actually, great.
Okay. Okay. Who wants to be a Skinionaire? Question number 1. FaZe made a successful last chance bracket run at the RMR at Rio 2022, Paris 2023, or Copenhagen 2024. Striker, my memory with this shit's not great, mate.
So Rio, they bombed.
That was the one where they lost to
No,
BNE.
that was yeah.
At the
Yeah, but that
major,
was
right?
that was
That was
not
at
even
the
the.
major,
I don't
yeah.
think they even. That was a last chance bracket or anything. I don't think it's that one. I'm trying to remember.
Was it Paris?
Was it Cope? Was it? Oh, if there was multiple choice possible, like I would say both even for some reason, but I
This
can't
was the
remember which one it
one
was.
against Cloud9 in the last game.
That was Paris. Right?
I saw the answers, but I am not sure.
Bro, I honestly don't know.
I'm pretty
I
sure it was
can't remember
Paris.
which one.
Pretty sure it was Paris.
Cloud9
Can I look
feels-
in Paris?
Yeah, lock in. It must be. It must be. If it's Cloud9, it must be.
Looking in Paris, correct answer is. Oh, okay. Dire relief there. Yeah. Okay. The last CS:GO major.
They'll always have Paris.
I always find it interesting with like the last CS:GO major, and like, there's only been this many CS2 majors. Like I just look at it as like a continuation.
Same,
But that's just me.
same.
I don't like the distinction, but that's up to people. They can say what they want. All right, number 2. 1 for 1, and it's already hard. At the Europe RMR B for Shanghai Major, Spirit finished as 2nd, 5th, 7th, 8th.
8th.
Okay.
I'm fairly. It's 7th or 8th, but I think it's 8th because it was like the last spot they barely won over. Like in the decider bracket thing, they barely made it through. I remember.
All right.
How many?
I just looked at it very recently.
Can you just gave the answer in your answer. Just say what you said again and think about it. Just repeat what you
I
said.
said 7th or 8th because they made it from the last this like decider bracket or whatever, but I
Yes.
don't know. So I think 8th. That's why I said 8th.
But
I think 8th is wrong.
think about it. Decider bracket.
Oh, because they wouldn't have been 8th, so it's 7th. All right.
I'm trusting you on this one.
Yeah,
I went with the
because
last
there was no 8 spots, so it was 7 spots each. Right. I get it.
Okay. Locking in 7th. Correct answer is 7th. Thanks,
Got it.
Prof, for the assist
job.
there. You know, he's kind of just.
He
hasn't given the answer.
I had all logic right except for the end.
Yeah.
You know, if it was like that thing about the math question, you would get some points to get there.
He's just directed the flow of traffic. You know, he hasn't made us go forward. He's just said you should go this way. All right. Question number 3. What was the only major that Mao's missed since 2021? Antwerp, Rio, or Paris? It wasn't Rio because I think
No.
Dexter was in the roster, right? And they made the playoffs.
They made semis in Rio. Ooh. Trying to remember. I think it's I'm pretty sure it's Antwerp. Oh wait.
It could have been Antwerp.
Trying to remember.
Where would they have come in Paris? Paris was where the bracket was.
They wouldn't
I would
have made
say,
playoffs. And
I'm pretty sure in one of these two, they went 0-3.
oh, they went 0-3 in Paris. I want to say. I think it's Antwerp. I'm not 100% sure. Bro, but
let's
I feel
go with
like it's
Antwerp.
more,
Fuck
I
it.
don't know.
We'll go with
I don't know.
Antwerp. Let's go with Antwerp.
Just take it.
I don't
Bro,
remember seeing them. I'm
struggling
trying to
so hard.
visualize being
There
in
we go.
Antwerp. Okay, fucking hell. I was just like thinking Antwerp. I was there.
I remember they bombed.
don't
Like the
remember
problem
Mount.
is like if any of these three, they could have been the one. If I didn't remember the Rio semi-final, like it could have been any of these three.
I think in
because-
Paris, they went 0-3. They lost to Gamer Legion the last game, and then Gamer Legion made the whole run. And I
okay.
presume Antwerp was when they had like the fucking A-Core, Dexter, whatever weird lineup or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Question number 4. Remember to type Epidermis Club in chat. How many majors did BNE attend? 2, 3, or 4?
Fuck, man. It was at least 3 in a row. I'm pretty sure it was 3 in a row. I think it was 3 in a row.
Right? Because Rio definitely. Antwerp, they were at definitely.
And Paris, they made.
Were they in Stockholm?
No, I don't. Well, but no,
they weren't. Because that's where when we qualifying for that, like we were doing the thing.
Yeah, it was like the multi-RMR thing.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think it's 3. I think it's 3.
Okay, lock it in 3. Correct answer is. Come on.
Yeah, there we go. Good job.
RMR farmers.
Yeah, but it's like they just had that run, right? I remember, and that period of time. Now that we're back there, I can visualize the time. I can actually see everything now. They can even see like makeup artists. I can see it all. I'm fucking in the Matrix. Let's go. Question number 5. What teams did G2 lose to at the Rio RMR? Oh, I did block this one out of my memory.
Fnatic was the last one, so it must be B, right? I think it must be B.
Yeah, they lost to BNE and Ancient, didn't they, as well?
I can tell.
Huh?
This is.
Oh, no,
I thought
Fnatic was the major, no? Ooh. Fnatic was the actual major somewhere, whichever one it was. I don't remember.
Oh, hold up. I think it was C9 1 win.
Where's the... Okay. Yeah.
I think it's C9.
1 win I remember. 1 win I remember. That was the RMR.
That one like sticks out as like a...
Yeah, because Fnatic is the... Which one is it? Is it Paris? Or is it Copenhagen?
I'm pretty sure it's Paris Major.
The Vertigo thing, like the Vertigo pick, that must be... Wait.
Yeah.
Or is that even... Yeah. Whatever.
C9 1 win GL.
Okay.
I think you're right.
You're right.
Locking it in. Correct answer is...
Oh, good job.
Okay.
Yeah, I exchanged those two as like the early bomb out from whichever major it was.
No, that was Paris. I remember being at Vapiano.
Of course.
Fucking worst restaurant in the world.
There's one next to the hotel here, so
I hate it so much. I was there, I think Harry, Hugo, and someone else, and we were watching. Where were you when G2 was killed? I was in Vapiano.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Bro, this was the biggest struggle for a 5 correct answer. Skinionaire.
That was a tough one. That's Who Wants to Be a Skinionaire, brought to you by Epidermis Association, and we'll be drawing our winner right now. Will be Lucas. Who we got? Who's the winner? Drum roll, please.
This guy won, like, not last episode, but the episode before. But he only won a $7 skin.
Oh,
there you go.
So, yes.
You got him a better one.
Nice.
Good job, Crawley. We saved you, and you're back. All right, Lucas, you know the drill. Crawley, you've done this before.
I will send you my... Oh, what? Oh, yeah. It's not me. Definitely not me. Definitely not me.
Man, I did a trade the other day, and I get like a freehand Bowie, and I'm gonna give this away. This fucking dog shit.
You know what's funny? You posted all of those skins, and you're like, "My luck sucks." I was like, "These skins look quite nice." I don't know anything about.
I'm rolling to get like a Doppler or something, bro. I want something good. I don't want that shit.
I actually turned on a Pixel stream during one of the pauses, and he was doing some like trade ups, and the way this guy, he's an entertainer. Like he's doing this trade up, but then he put like his console over the whole thing, so you can't see what it is.
The Chinese method.
And then he was like putting it from the side and to like, oh, let's see what type of a knife it is. I was locked in for it, and he got a Doppler, but it was the butt plugs. It was, like this up and down situation. Like that, I can understand. I understand.
Well, yeah, because then you're actually going to use the thing. Like so I did all these trade ups and all that trash that I posted that people may have seen on Twitter. I then sold them all on the Steam market, and then with that money in the Steam market, bought myself an M9 bayonet Doppler. So like I got a good knife
in the end.
By the end of it, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't an easy feat by any stretch. Okay, let's just quickly round up stage 1 and talk about today's matches, and then look forward at stage 2 quite briefly. So just for those that missed it, Rare Atom and Lin Vision were the first two teams eliminated, both Chinese representation. And the first two teams who qualified were FlyQuest and M80. I already glazed FlyQuest. I think they're playing some well-oiled Counter-Strike. I think, well, I don't think I spoke to them. They're aware that the caliber of teams that they beat are not the best teams in the world, right? So they're not sitting there going, man, we're fucking sick. They're going, we did what we needed to do. I think probably the same for M80, and I casted the M80 bait game. They won that first half on Mirage 10-2. I think M80 right now are 13 in a row on Mirage. So their home map's looking pretty strong. They have some good variations, and their individuals are hitting nice. There was some moments where the aim was a little bit scrappy, but that's me being a bit pedantic about things. The Paravision win was probably the best one of I guess Paravision and Bait are actually quite comparable. I think those teams would hate that I did that, but I think in terms of the level that we're expecting. And then M80 against NRG was a non-starter, right? And which is expected. I think that's the fair expectation. Okay, then we can dive into what happened yesterday, which was NIP getting their win, which was against Fluxo. And Fluxo, again, not many rounds over the course of that. They had some late comebacks in the second half of both of the maps, but otherwise NIP were really just handling business. I think when some of those comebacks started to happen, NIP just started taking more risks or playing more individually because they were owning them so badly. Bait beat Legacy, which in my opinion was like matchup of the day in terms of the two teams. So that one I think could have gone either way. So Beta locked in, and then Fnatic had the chance to beat up on NRG as well, and they lost that opening map, but then had to come back in the. I mean,
it was kind of a struggle. I mean, Inferno could have gone the other way too. I saw that game.
Yeah, Fnatic feel like I've spoken to some of the people who've been casting their games because I haven't done one of their matches yet, and it feels like their level of Counter-Strike has left a lot to be desired. I don't know if you guys were able to glean any of their matches.
One thing that I will say for them is Jacosmo was looking pretty good. I mean, over the course of the tournament, I haven't seen the other games, I think, but this series that he played against NRG was good, but then it is NRG, so it's more like at least you're finally starting to see something. He was pretty clutch, had some really big moments, so.
Okay. Well, we'll see how they continue to trend.
He did say he had some sensitivity issue mistake on previous tournament, which is always
I missed that.
Always a fun thing to
config or like what
maybe it was like mouse Excel or something. Okay. He didn't set up his PC.
I don't think that works with raw input anymore. So
I don't know what it could be.
Okay.
But he said he fucked something up previous tournament, like he wasn't, and now he's feeling comfortable again. So that's good for him, I guess.
Good. And the pressure's off the shoulders of these teams as well, because I think a lot of them have an expectation to make it from stage 1 to stage 2. So obviously the matches are still going to be tough and they're still going to be nervous because of the quality of the game and it's at the major, but getting through that is going to be helpful.
I mean, I don't think they're really feeling that way, to be honest, at this point, because they are in the position where they do have to have like as good of a result as possible, to set themselves up for next year. So I think pressure is definitely not off at all. For these teams, I think they, especially because they haven't beaten any good teams, right? Because there's not that many points on offer. I mean, I'll just quickly click through. I'm curious how much they got for some of these. So they got like 8 points for Red Canids, which is rough.
I think the problem here
for Imperial,
yeah,
like
if you're talking about
getting a lot of points.
If you're talking about the VRS Star stuff, is there is no prize pool for this stage, right?
Yeah.
So that's why
there is. It's just more about it. It's going to count in at the end. I mean, because the way that it works now is it derives from the top one, right?
Yeah.
For the qualification stage. So it has weight. It just doesn't have it right now. So it's going to get a little bit. Like the value is going to go up a bit.
Yeah. Okay. The NIP Kaspersky still looks good in some patches, right? Wrinkle still a bit more a miss than hit even, so it'd be good to see him finding some form. But like U-Jerks had some nice moments, so I thought that their pace also wasn't as fast as it normally would be. They were a bit more tempered and a bit more standard. It wasn't just like snappy, calling a lot of pops and plays like that. So that there was some stuff there with NIP that was a nice little change, because obviously they were on a bit of a downturn coming into this. And yeah, Bait, I think Bait just play like a good standard level of CS, but yeah.
Hat-Trick's actually being serviceable, which is I think a big difference as well. Yeah. Because he's been having a really rough time for a while. So I think that's also a big deal for them, to be honest, because he's the one who's letting them down realistically, firepower wise.
I think it's been also I read an interview with it was Hat-Trick, but it was about like the IGL change and stuff like that. And the thing that he said was a difference was very interesting to me, because said Alex is better at knowing what to do in different times of a match without having a tactical timeout. And it kind of implied that like NPL didn't really know what to call.
Okay.
Because he would just like, he would do things, but it would necessitate a lot of input from the coach, especially during maybe LAN games. You don't have that possibility, versus online. Sometimes you can just talk as much as you want. So that was essentially that Alex is more like in a duo with the coach, and they're synced, and they know 99% of the time what needs to happen. They're like synced into that, even if they don't speak. I thought that was an interesting thing to note, because it's like NPL was kind of getting hyped as an IGL because he's fragging well. The classic thing. It doesn't really make sense. It doesn't imply you're a good IGL, but people will always take that as a sign of someone being good.
But it also makes sense what he says, right? Like if you're NPL and you're obviously more focused on the output, on getting the kills and all that stuff, and he's in a lot of active positions. Like if you're that guy, and if you actually do have, like if you're skilled, it's going to be harder for you to think macro, to think what just happened across the entire map.
Put
How
yourself
can we
in the best positions to get kills?
Yeah, exactly.
And win
so
rounds.
like you just don't have the space to think about what's happening to the rest of the team. How can I adjust to this? So it makes a lot of sense.
Just to cover off the teams we lost in yesterday's matches, Red Canids, the Huns, and obviously the one being Elimination. We did talk about them a little bit earlier in the show when we're talking about the humiliation ritual. So they're one that we've touched upon. And Striker, you said that there's an expectation that this team probably gets like picked apart with some of its players going into the next season.
Yeah.
It's pretty gutting that they come in and they go down 0-2. Like with the teams that they lost to as well. They lost to fucking Fluxo and Red Canids. Like,
yeah.
Some would say that after losing to Fluxo and Red Canids, you should be instantly eliminated. You shouldn't even have a chance to play a third game. Some would say that.
Oh, their only win came against Rare Atom, right? Like, so, and then sure, you draw Paravision in the next round, but that should be a 2-1 game, right? Like that, or a 2-0 game. That shouldn't be a fucking 1-2 matchup, right? So that just shows you that the Game Legion had a terrible outing. And I'm going to speculate. I don't know anything, but for me, for the team to like be performing this poorly tells us something like an interpersonal problem within the roster, because the pieces in the team are good. Like I don't know. Like this is pure and utter speculation, but to me it feels like to play that poorly, there must be something that like this guy's not getting along with this guy, or the core group of the team don't like the way this guy handles himself or something. Again, pure baseless claim, but it doesn't make sense that a team like this can perform like that. You can say best of ones, but I can go for
I mean, it's even like, it's like the things that we actually usually saw that were good about them is like the trio of the riflers were actually pretty good consistently, even when they didn't have good results, but they just didn't really, even those guys didn't show up at this tournament really. Like I thought PR would just destroy this stage, to be honest. After seeing him the last couple of tournaments, I just thought he was just going to like whatever, drop 140 on these teams, and then maybe start struggling a bit more when they play some of the teams that have a better idea of how to approach some of these matchups, right? But even he was not having a great time. Towson was not having a great time. Like none of them really showed up.
Okay, let's do a quick stage 2 focus here. So today's matches, let's go quick fire of who we think is going to win which matches. So let's start with the best fixture of the day, Legacy Paravision. Prof, who you got?
Ooh. Honestly, it's a hard one. I would want both of these. I would want both of these teams to advance. Obviously, not possible unless something crazy happens, unforeseen circumstances. I think Legacy, but I enjoyed the bits of James that I managed to see. Like this James that actually plays Counter-Strike. He still does not die, but he went for some plays. Like he found some. On that game against Gamer Legion, he found the groove. Like he was reading the game. He was in the right place at the right time. He was doing that one round where he like gets an op kill and then drops the op. Then Deagle walks into red on Ancient and just chills there for like 45 seconds as the rest of his team is rotating around. They managed to lose that round, but still, I think he's on it. He's on it. So I don't know. A slight favor to Legacy, but I'm liking what I'm seeing so far from Paravision.
Okay, what about you, Striker?
Wait, what was the question?
Who's going to win? Paravision or Legacy?
Oh, okay. I saw very little of Paravision actually so far. I mean, the only thing I saw was like the last game of yesterday because it was after my game ended. So it's hard. It's hard for me to tell. I haven't really seen enough.
That's all right. That's fine. I'm going to go with Paravision. There's likely no overpass, no nuke. I think that the nerves probably going to get to him a bit more.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm just going
These
to go
are
with
fucking
Paravision.
phaseless Russians, man. It's can't face these guys.
I'm going with Paravision. Let's just see what happens. No disrespect to Legacy. This is a really tough fixture. This is another game that I would have liked to have seen in a 2-0 or a 2-1.
It's funny that we have such high expectations of Paravision, to be honest, based on some online stuff.
I watched the video with Jam and Dustin. I just watched the subtitles, so I'm back in. I've always been Dustin pilled. I'm always been Dustin pilled. So I'm back in. Yeah. My favorite Dustin story is when I was doing the lobby at a Katowice one time, and he gets out of the shuttle and his arm's like in like a cast or sling or whatever the fuck it was. And I go, Dustin, what happened to your arm, mate? And he goes, I got into a fight with Config. And I just that was my favorite. That was my favorite moment. Okay. Next matchup that'll be going on is going to be, hold up, I'm clicking around. It's going to be NRG versus Imperial. I think everybody loses with that game. So it should be Imperial, but I'm going to go with NRG. I want to see daps in the next stage. Let's go Damien Steele. Let's go daps.
Really? Okay. I think it's Imperial probably.
My head says Imperial, my heart says NRG.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it like if it wasn't for the fucking second half of Mirage yesterday, I would have been more confident about that, but that it just felt like they were a little bit too confident about that matchup at some point, and then just threw away some really stupid shit. So I think they just a little bit more solid.
Someone in chat says it's the 0-3 of the next stage. So like that is actually not a bad surmise, really, is it? Okay. Then finally, the opening game, which is going to be FaZe versus Fluxo. I was really saying I think FaZe can't lose. I'm going to stick with that. They can lose. Right?
They will not lose, but I really I want them to be convincing. Please, like one game, be convincing so we have some hope.
Okay. Prof, do you think that Fluxo get it done? Do you think Art gets it done?
If the combination of Art, Zevi, and Kai eliminate FaZe, I will have a Max hamburger tomorrow. I don't know what.
Wow.
What at the stake here, Prof?
The buffalo chicken, which is my favorite. It's fucking.
It like a celebration.
You're gonna be eating good tonight.
I'll be eating good. That's what I'm gonna say. No, okay. I mean, in many ways, I was hoping for FaZe to lose just for this to be over.
Okay.
I can't go through this every time they play, being like, come on. Like I really expected them to come in and bang out the game yesterday. First day. Tech pause, late game. There's some excuses for the first best of ones, but then yesterday is like there's no excuse. Why is this happening? Guys, lock in and do it.
Probably no dust 2 in that series. Probably no train, I guess. Might be a nuke pick from Fluxo.
I mean, what is FaZe even picking? What is their map pool? Who knows?
They don't have a map pool. They have maps. Okay. Then we get to take a look at the next stage of play just quickly. Sorry, everybody, if you're wondering why I'm going so quickly, maybe you missed the start of the show. I do have to depart very soon to head into cast the FaZe versus Fluxo game. So in stage 2, the teams who are there are Aurora, Liquid, NAVI, Astralis, 3D Max, Bait, Fnatic, FlyQuest, MAE, Passion UA, NIP, Tyloo, and MIBR. The conversation is going to be the other 3 names joining this. I guess it goes, are there any of the names from stage 1 who you guys think could take a spot away from these stage 2 teams progressing into stage 3?
I mean, there's MIBR in stage 2, so like that's one spot on the line for sure.
Okay.
I would say, I mean, I
FlyQuest.
I had high hopes of Bait. I'm not so high on them after this, but I think they're still pretty okay. I think they could be one of those.
I mean, MAD looked pretty solid.
Yeah. Especially with Mirage and the best of ones, which teams shouldn't be. But also, just a quick one. So everyone understands the seeding that was done for the major was based off of the November VRS. And also, in case you're not aware, what happens in the Swiss stage, it's 1 versus 9, right? 2 versus 10, right? It's not 1 versus 16. So I'm pretty sure FlyQuest will be the 9th seed. They're either going to be the 9th or the 10th seed.
Aurora, NAVI or something, right?
So FlyQuest will be playing against Aurora or NAVI in the opening game. So that's just so people can help get their expectations of what to expect in the opening round. Sorry, Prof, back to you.
I forgot what I want to say. I think FlyQuest could do something. M80 could do something. I think in this kind of pool, really depends on what kind of teams they get. I think M80. I don't know who's going to get 3D Max first round. That's a good one. Where Passion UA, some stuff like that. I think you have a chance to get a win there for sure. And it's always weird with this warmed up versus coming in playing the first game situation. But we can do the what are the odds very quickly. Yes. Because kind of it's related to this.
Okay.
We just need to know from Lucas who's doing what team, because the question for what are the odds are for a specific team to not advance to stage 3, and I picked
You ready?
four European teams that were invited to stage.
The odds they don't progress.
Yes.
To the stage.
Yes.
Okay.
So Aurora, Navi, Astralis, and 3D Max are the teams that we have.
What are the odds brought to everybody by Stake? Okay, Lucas, who has what team? Hit us.
So the chat has 3D Max, Prof, you have Aurora, SPUNJ Navi, and Striker Astralis.
Odds they don't advance.
All right.
For Aurora, I would say pretty low, but still possible. They had like a bit of a rocky season. There's a bit of pressure on this team for sure. As we said, maybe they play FlyQuest, who are pretty on fire. M80, I think both of these teams solid, could be a 1-win, especially if the maps line up. So I would say like a chance to not advance, like 22%.
Okay.
Like a 1 to 5 kind of ratio.
Okay.
Striker, what are you thinking?
Ooh, Astralis are a weird one. I really don't like. Yeah, I don't have very high hopes for them. Not like I would think they are less likely to go, but I don't think it's that far off. I think they're also one of those teams that could probably bomb. I'll give it like 35.
Okay. I think when I think about Na'Vi, Chengdu they bombed out of. They lost to Astralis and Heroic. They were in best of 3s. I have to start with best of 1s. I don't know. For some reason, I just think like the baseline of Na'Vi should be strong, right?
They don't really lose to a lot of these types of teams either. Like
I think
they don't do well.
Their worst thing is like prep between the 2 best of 1 games. They do like to have a 2-3 hour prep session with Blade, and they won't be able to do that because they don't know who they're playing. So that's, especially if things go wrong, maybe they go 0-2. That's where the things become scary.
Yeah, they could play somebody pretty good, right? I mean, if they play whatever NIP or FlyQuest, that could be a dangerous one.
I think I'm more worried about like how diabolical is the opening best of 1 rounds, and then what does that mean as they would work back up? I don't imagine that goes 0-2. I'm gonna. Wow, chat has 44% that 3D Max don't make the next stage. Damn, they're really reading into that fucking burnout slump crazy.
Yeah,
I'm actually gonna go real low. I'm gonna go like 18% for Navi.
Yeah.
I have confidence that they'll make the next stage, right? I understand they didn't have the best Chengdu result, but I just think like what Blade is drilling into is don't lose to Force Buys, right? Like, so I think in a best of 1 environment, best of 3 environment, like map pool wise, I also think the players, well, maybe not all the players, but I think there's a couple of players on this team I said this about fucking FaZe. I'm doing it again. Hey, this is
not the same level though. This is not the same level.
Let's go with 18%. Let's go with 18%. Yeah. I've got a bit of faith in Navi, to be honest with you. So
I would probably put 3D Max Astralis at the bottom of the list in terms of like how at the top of the list how likely they are to go. 3D Max, I think they've had a little bit of time off now, so I don't think it's going to be that bad. I think they're going to be pretty okay too.
I think 3D Max will eat the lunch of half of these fucking teams.
Yeah, I think so too.
They will smell blood, they will smell your fear, and they will fucking chew you up and spit you out. So there you go. That's what we've come to the conclusion. Thank you everybody in chat for participating as well. What are the odds brought to you by Stake? All right.
Refrag. Refrag.
Oh shit! I fucking didn't see all the rest of the stuff down here. I have my things so far zoomed in that I didn't see rest of the field, Refrag, what are the odds, and stage 2 preview.
There we go.
So zoomed in. Okay. One of our other sponsors of the show, Refrag. Now I missed this on last week's episode. There's a striker mode. Prof, I'm going to hand this one over to you.
Yes. I mean, it wasn't live. It is live now. It's a special. Oh, I was doing a little recording for their website. You know, just like 3 lines of text into a camera. That's the hardest thing to do in the world. I was struggling so hard. It took me like 20 minutes to read it. And then I looked in the video, and because of this microphone has this stupid touch feature on it. I touched it and I muted it. So my like, I'm finally happy with the recording. I open it, it's fucking no audio. It's the worst. I just wanted to rant on that for a second, but otherwise,
Lucas is doing a lot of self-glazing right now.
They made a new mode, which is like a combination of different modes on Refrag, like the classic X-Fire or whatever. Essentially, there's 3 maps. You load the map in this mode, and it just puts you in a high-paced sequence of different modes. Some is like a retake, some is like protecting
like
from a retake.
Thunder,
yeah, all of these things, and you need to go through it as fast as possible with as least deaths. And the better you do, the higher the score. And so there's a scoreboard for the 3 different maps. And Lucas played; he's currently number 1 in all of them. Striker played; it's named after him, but not doing as well. I played it before, not since it launched officially, so I'll need to redo it. The worst part is on Mirage, there's a window jump.
Bro, I never did that. I've never learned that, and I nailed it first time. I was like, what the fuck just happened?
Beginner's luck. So it's pretty fun, so people can try it out. They can compare scores to us. There's there'll be prizes, skins. There's knife, weapon skins for the top 10 in each on each map. And then if you just play
by the end of the major,
it's still the end of the month, I think. That it's active. We need to confirm.
That's soon.
Not the end of the month. The end of the year.
Okay.
I'm already in December, and also. If you just play, there's also a random raffle for the skins. So one time you finish the map, it's like one count in the raffle, so you can try it out.
Okay,
it's pretty cool. I enjoyed it. I think it doesn't take that long to finish, so it's also a form of warm up you can try out.
Yeah, nice. Okay,
that's like a 5-minute thing, maybe.
Yeah,
probably less.
All right. Well, that's it. Refrag being one of the sponsors. Everyone knows that I'm a fan of the product, regardless of it being a sponsor or not. I've been talking about it for many years.
And the question in chat, do you need Refrag sub to play this mode? Yes, but you can use the free trial refrag GG/HLTV confirmed or /confirmed. Let me double check this. Refrag.
It's /confirmed.
/confirmed. 1 week free trial. Go play it.
/confirmed. All right, nice. Okay, I can probably spend a couple more minutes if we want to keep talking about stage 2. Before I really have to go.
Nothing much. Really.
Nothing much.
What to say actually about stage 2?
Well, Aurora are obviously one of the favorites of the stage. I'm excited to see Liquid get back into the server. It feels like it's been some time for them. I think Navi, even though again they didn't have the good Chengdu result, they're still one of the top of the field here. Astralis is iffy for me. I think 3D Max are being underrated.
For sure.
Passion had a bad Draculan. What does that mean? Tai Lu, can they find any redemption for Chinese Counter-Strike? Maybe Tai Lu should try and get Zaka to replace G. Sorry, G. I like you. You're a nice guy, but I think Zaka's a better AWPer than you. Maybe replace Attacker as well. Anyway, they haven't played yet. Don't know why I'm talking about replacements. MIBR might be a lot of people 0-3. Yeah, all in all, we don't know what the opening matches are yet. We don't know who the last 3 teams are. Sorry about that again. So getting into too much of the conversation there. But my expectation right now would be that Aurora, Liquid, Navi, 3D Max, those 4 teams, in my opinion, should be through to the next stage.
Yeah.
If I was drawing a base, because what I would have said for the first stage, and I'm already wrong, would have been FaZe, Game Allegiant, Legacy, and Bait. That would have been my 4 from the first stage of play. So from the second stage,
for me, the only confidence was stemming from Legacy, and even they're struggling, so it's rough.
Yeah.
So 3-0-03s, 03s MIBR. No, I mean whoever comes
NRG
through
versus Imperial, one of those.
Whoever comes through there, I'm not putting FaZe to advance, even if they come through.
I'll be putting FlyQuest 3-0 again.
So I would go.
You put the 3-0 before?
Of course.
Really?
I would go for like a Liquid 3-0. I don't know. I feel like they're like a team that could just farm
Fucking 3D Max, let's go.
I want Justin to play against Fnatic, to play against Blame F. I want him to play against Astralis, to play against Hooksy. I want him to play against fucking Liquid, to play against Nerds and Ultimate and Nav. I want him to get to the next stage and play against fucking Hunter from G2. I want him to play against Falcons with Nico and Monacy. That's
all
what
of them.
I want him to take all those fucking scalps. I want him to scalp them all. That's what I want. And then I want FlyQuest to lift the trophy in front of thousands in Budapest.
Millions.
Hazard and JKS reunited, and they've done it. Yeah. Okay. We're going to do another episode between stages 2 and 3. It might be another scenario based off of the schedule. I don't know. I don't have it yet. Of maybe it will have to be on the final day of stage 2 like we're doing right now, or maybe if I get my media day scheduled a little bit earlier, we could do it actually between stages 2 and 3. But then we'll definitely do a show that'll be a bit more comprehensive after stage 3 has come to its conclusion before the playoffs. And we might even try and do something here in person. We're just working out some tech, but it won't be a live show. So again, if you're just joining us now, there won't be a live show from Budapest for you to come and watch HLTV Confirmed. All right. Sorry for the rush nature, everybody. Sorry for the time, but same as always, we're back again and the major continues. Day 1, it wasn't great. No one's saying that. Not even Starladder are saying that. But day 2 and day 3, they've been pretty good. So day 4, it'll be on your screens in a couple of hours' time. Let's enjoy the Counter-Strike. Let's stop just fucking going for the heads all the time. We're in the post-Panda era. We want more TOs. Let's treat the world with kind eyes and an open heart, shall we, everyone? This has been another installment of HLTV Confirmed, brought to you by our lovely partners, Stake and Refrag. And we'll be back again next time. Goodbye.
Ever wanted to try Refrag? Well, now you can. For the viewers of HLTV Confirmed, you can claim a 1-week free trial for the world's best CS2 training platform, letting you try out all of our features, like the Refrag Coach, which will analyze your games and give you a personalized training plan. You can also try out Challenger, an all-new game mode, which will test your retake abilities in realistic in-game scenarios. Try Refrag today for free using the link in the description.
You're a CS player and you won a major. It's not something people can take away from you, you know?
No matter what would have happened in that tournament, I'm glad I got benched.
It's just hard, you know, like when I look back at this image, all I see is that I failed.
When Device decided to quit the team, that was like the nail in the coffin.
Okay, this is where I want to be, this is where my place should be.
You know, if I could trade in all the trophies to just have my father back, that would be a fair trade.